All right, welcome back everyone. एक काम करते हैं, let's go ahead with our main sentence first. Okay, that is charging section 4. Who nahi speak. Income tax is payable. Continue by every person when in each assessment year on the net taxable total income earned during the previous year. So we know who are the 7 people falling in the definition of person. We know income year, previous year, and the very next year, assessment year. Exam applicable year for your exam, May 23 is going to be 22-23, and applicable assessment year for your exam is going to be 23-24. Person previous year assessment year done. So next thing was learning calculation of income and tax. But we cannot learn calculation of income and tax unless we first know the scope of total income. For this purpose, assessees will be divided in 2 categories, resident and non-resident, and income will be divided in 2 categories, Indian income and foreign income. Resident will pay tax on global income, world income, that is Indian as well as foreign, but non-resident will pay tax only on Indian income. So we need to determine whether the assessee, or when does an assessee become resident or non-resident, when does income become Indian income and foreign income. Just to share a small piece of news for you, we have almost decided everything. Only a last small part and solving of some questions is left. बराबर है क्या नहीं? So we did residential status assessee by assessee. We realized that the longest was of individual. If you remember, individual का residential status consumed one entire lecture, and second lecture में we finished the residential status of everyone else. We finished scope of total income. We finished Indian income, foreign income, and उसके अंदर Indian income के अंदर भी deemed Indian income is also almost over. Only 2-3 points are left. With this second chapter will also get over. So maximum time which got consumed in the second chapter was actually residential status of individual. Step number 1, 182 days in the current year, or 60 in the current year and 365 days in the last 4 years. But if you are a citizen who is going outside for earning, or crew member of Indian ship, crew member mein CDC not included, or if you are a citizen or PIO coming for a visit, so in these cases we are not going to include 6365. But if you are coming for visit and your income, we are not going to include 6365, only one. You are staying abroad. Originally, you were an Indian citizen. You have been staying, for example, you remember I spoke about my father's younger sister. So she is an Indian citizen, staying abroad, but she comes, no, in the month of August, whenever there are school vacations in America. Only for visit, not for the purpose of earning income. Then 6365 is not going to be applicable. But if you come for visit and your income exceeds 15 lakh, kaun sa income? India ka total income. That was anyways going to be taxable irrespective of residential status. But foreign income which was earned from a business controlled from India, so we make you resident. But we don't want to target your foreign local income. Our target is only foreign income which is controlled from India. And therefore, at the bottom there was another provision which said these people will by default always be not ordinary resident. We will not let them become ordinary resident. And the third criteria was if you are a citizen, same income exceeding 15 lakh, because that is our target. And if you are not a tax resident in any other country, so you will become resident in India. Once you become resident, then only we perform step 2. 2 conditions. This time satisfy both. Last 7 years, 730 days. Last 10 years, minimum. It can be higher, but minimum 2 years, you have to be a resident. Then what will happen? You will become ROR. Any one of the 2 conditions dissatisfied or both dissatisfied, then you become RNOR. After this, the remaining part was very easy. For example, HUF, any one decision taken in India, resident, and HUF is further classified into ordinary, not ordinary, but for this you have to check the conditions of the Karta, which is stupidity, but that is the law. Okay. Thereafter, for the other assessees, the one good news is that there is no further classification into ordinary, not ordinary. So they will be either resident or they will be non-resident. Control and management for everyone. Even one decision taken in India, then resident, otherwise non-resident. But for company, the rule changed a bit. If it is an Indian company, it will always be resident, and foreign companies will be only if they will be resident only if the POM, that is the place of effective management, is in India. If their place of effective management, which I told you that at inter level it is major managerial decision, but at final level there is that circular on place of effective management which says out of total meetings, how many meetings in India, out of total employees, how many employees in India, out of total turnover, how much turnover in India, percentages are given. And when that criteria is met, it will be treated that your POM is in India and foreign company will become resident. If that criteria is not met, then foreign company will be non-resident. But Indian company will always be resident in India. Correct? Then we went to the second part of the chapter, scope of total income, Indian income or foreign income. Indian income. If the payment happens in India, it is Indian income. If the work done is in India, then it is Indian income. Income earning process is a process of 2 steps. Step number 1, work. Step number 2, get paid. It can happen in any order. You can get an advance and then work, and you can work and then get your payment. But the process comprises of 2 steps. Work and get paid. And any one of them happens in India. That means you work in India and get paid outside. It's Indian income. You work outside and get paid in India. It is Indian income. Both happen in India, obviously it is Indian income. That means foreign income only if both activities have taken place outside India. Okay. We are interested in knowing Indian income only if the assessee is non-resident. Because if the assessee is resident, everything is going to be taxable. So our interest in knowing Indian income is only for non-resident. When in the non-resident case, any one of the 2 activities has taken place in India, it will be treated as Indian income. And then finally we came to a list of incomes which are mandatorily going to be treated as Indian income. We generally say that an income arises at a place where you have done the work. So in case of salary, where did you work? In case of professional fees, where did you work? But for these incomes, there is no work that you do. You've sold your asset. If the asset is located in India, the gain will be treated as Indian income, irrespective of the fact that the agreement was done outside India, the payment was done outside India, if the asset is located in India. Have we in asset said that only immovable property? No. Whether immovable property, shares of any Indian company, any asset which is located in India, it will be treated as Indian income. You remember? Sundar and Cook. Likewise, any rent from any property which is situated in India. You can do your agreement outside India, you can do the payment outside India, but because the property is situated in India, the rent is considered to be generated in India. Therefore, this is deemed Indian income, and therefore everyone has to pay tax, whether resident or non-resident. Resident anyways has to pay tax, but non-resident has to pay tax. Dividend from an Indian company, some years ago it used to be exempt. I think I must have told you that also. Some years ago it used to be exempt, but now it has become taxable. Where is the company located? That's the source of income, and therefore it will be treated as Indian income for everyone. Whenever gift is given by a resident to non-resident, see, if resident is getting gift, he is resident, he has to pay tax. If non-resident is getting gift from someone outside India, we may not tell him to pay tax. But if a non-resident is getting gift from a resident, then it will be Indian income. By the way, anyways, we are interested in cases where recipients are non-resident. If the recipient was resident, we are not interested in deemed Indian income at all, because Indian or foreign, you have to pay. Correct?
So what is the exempt? I think you said there are some exemptions.
So orally I said, I have not taught you the chapter income from other sources. Just to give you a rough idea that gift up to 50,000 is not taxable.
That is total value money.
So that is the question, no, which is to be answered in income from other sources. You don't give, you get.
No, but if I get 45,000 gifts.
Now then, gift received from relative is exempt. So if one of the 2 is relative, that will be treated as 0. Other 45 is below 50. Gift received at the time of marriage is exempt. One of them was marriage gift, other was normal gift. So marriage wala 0, other comes below 15. Subject to those cases where gift is totally exempt, you make all that 0. Then the remaining part ka you take total. So if we assume that the 2 gifts received by you are without any occasion, non-relative, no marriage, nothing. So total is 90, more than 50, fully taxable. Income from other sources is a 7-hour chapter. 3 hours are this that you asked me. More twists. One relative to example, one friend gave you money 45,000, other friend gave you gold 45,000. Nahi. There is a chart which says monetary gift exempt up to 50,000, taxable in excess of 50,000. When we say in excess means, if it crosses 50, it is fully taxable. So if it is 55, you pay tax on 55, not on 5. Okay. So if I get a gift of 50,001 rupee, occasion free, marriage is exempt, relative is exempt, certain cases are exempt. We are talking about taxable circumstances. 50,000 and 1 का gift है. Normally when we give शादी में चांदला में 1 rupee is treated as 1 rupee good luck का. This 1 rupee is bad luck का. You know why? You know why this is 1 rupee bad luck? Full 50,000 and 1 is taxable. But monetary gifts के लिए separate 50,000, non-monetary gifts के लिए separate 50,000. So if one person is giving you 90 in cash, that's crossing the threshold. You have to pay tax. Tell him, give 45 ka cash and 45 ka gold. Separate limits.
What if you just take the cash and buy gold 45,000?
You got the cash, no? So 90 is cash gift. Fully taxable. Declare nahi kiya, so you don't declare full 90 also, no? Don't declare. You why take 90? Take 9 crore. No? That is never a question. We are talking about tax treatments of things that department is aware of. Department will not ask you, you will declare. Then one day when the notice comes up, they find from their own sources. You have no idea Big Daddy is watching you. You think that I do so many things, no one knows. People at home may not know what you are doing, but they are keeping a watch on you. All your UPI transactions, they have data about that. If you buy any two-wheeler or four-wheeler in your name, they have data. If you open, they have data. You have to give your PAN card. In buying a vehicle, you don't have driving license, that is okay, but you have to give your PAN card. Correct me if I am wrong. And this is practically that you have seen. On paper, there is a law which says RTO has to mandatorily take PAN card before registering any vehicle. If you open a bank account, you have to give your documentation. You have to give it. Yeah? Any financial transaction you do, first you have to give your PAN. And these days PAN and Aadhaar are used interchangeably because every PAN is linked with an Aadhaar. Without linking, you can't use your PAN. Okay? So if you give Aadhaar, automatically they can find out the PAN because it is already linked.
You might have multiple PAN.
Once upon a time, people used to have. That was, first of all, there was no Aadhaar at that time. And then people used to give physical hard copies of the documents. So that people used to have one house in Rajasthan, one house in Mumbai. So they used to apply for one PAN card there, one PAN card here. That is in Rajasthan ka address. This is in Mumbai ka address. And they used to run or live a double life. They used to take income in that account also, this account also. And used to use their basic exemption. If you remember what I spoke about. Now you can't. No? Because any PAN which is not linked with your Aadhaar will become inoperative. Okay, so anybody still doing it is playing dangerously. They are playing, probably they don't have a good CA to give them proper advice. Okay, if you as a CA see anyone doing that, immediately tell your client to stop doing it because he or she is inviting trouble. Okay, you are digressing. So if you talk about gift provisions right now, first exempt income, then 4 heads of income, and then income from other sources. Okay, matlab? Okay, in the very first chapter I told you, the division of, do you remember I told you NTTI ke liye how many chapters we have to study? Now today if you ask me, sir, we have paid medical insurance premium of all our family members. So what is the tax effect? You have to wait for deductions ka chapter, no? Ultimately, this is a coaching class where chapters one after the other have to be taught to you. And not a tax consultancy going on, sir, I am taking gift from this person, I am taking, so iska kya hoega? I also have a practicing CA firm because madam is also CA, no? You can take my visiting card, we'll be reasonable with you. Keeping the jokes apart, you have to wait for an appropriate time for appropriate things to take place. As of now, salary income, where will it accrue? The place where you have done your work. But with an exception that if you work for the government, it will always be treated as Indian salary income, therefore taxable. But in the exempt income ka chapter, I told you this orally. We will be doing this. Allowances and perquisite to those employees will be exempt. So they take more in the form of allowance, perquisite as in the form of salary. And finally, if a business is set up in India, it will always be treated as Indian income. With 2 exceptions. If you have set up that office only for making purchases and sending the goods outside India, only purchase and export, then it is not treated as Indian income or a business setup in India and you are only collecting information, then it is not treated. This is where we stopped yesterday. This was still revision going on. Now let's go ahead. This is point number 9 of which list? That is one thing that I want from you. This is point number 9. कौन से list का?
Income seems to be Indian.
That means this income will be taxable also for non-resident. Resident has to pay tax on everything. Why do you even have to discuss? This income will be taxable for non-resident also. Now I was checking if you are paying attention. 7 देगा. 7. Okay. Total 9 है ना. 3 more are left. Okay. Next. If you have earned income in the form of interest. Which income? Now, you need to first understand the transaction. See, I have got one very easy way of cutting down my explanation time. मैं बोलूं 3 situations. 1, 2, 3. 3 situations. Interest will be deemed to be Indian income. And for everything I have one answer. It is written in the law. Law man like kuch hai. But then why do I need to explain? See, there can be this explanation or this logic for everything. But there are things which are logical, deserve logical explanation. 5% cases you will find provisions of the law which are absolutely illogical, ghatiya, bakwas, vahiyat, and you'll find me using those words also. For example, HUF ka residential status ke liye bhi check karta. Yes. So there are certain occasions, very rare, where our income tax law becomes a little illogical. 95%, the success rate can be higher also, minimum bol raha hu. 95% cases, income tax law is very, very logical. It only depends on someone who can point out that logic for you. I can just give you 3 situations, but mahol, let me create a background. And interest income can arise when one person is using funds belonging to the other. Capital bolo ya funds bolo, money belonging to other, so interest arises. In every interest transaction, there will be a borrower, there will be a lender. That will result in interest ka transaction. Do you understand? Who will pay the interest? Matha tumhara. Neend mein se utho. I did it purposely and I do it with everyone in all classes. I just to check okay, you are awake or sleeping. Who earns interest income? Or I asked who pays interest? You said lender. Who pays interest? Can I say he is the payer? Yes. He is the receiver? Yes. He is our assessee. It is income tax, no, not expense tax. We don't have to see iska tax statement. We have to see iska tax statement. It is like asking if Google has sold house to Apple, so who will pay tax, Google or Apple? Seller pays tax here. The receiver of income pays tax. Barabar hai kya nahi? So who will be the assessee in our discussion? The lender will be the assessee in our discussion. He is a non-resident. Had he been a resident, I will not waste my time in deciding and discussing these things. Is that understood? In all the points that we are writing here, the receiver of income, the assessee has to be a non-resident. So lender is a non-resident. We have to decide whether we will treat his interest income as Indian income. Okay. Following are the cases. Case number 1, if interest is received from government, then it will be treated as Indian income. Abhi use your brain and tell me, government is lender or borrower? Huh?
Borrower.
Government is lender or borrower? Because who is our lender? वो non-resident. That means understand. Borrower, government, pays interest to a lender who is non-resident. In any income, to earn it, there are 2 steps. Get paid in India or do the work in India. If the money was paid in India, so we don't need the deeming provision, directly it becomes Indian income. But the money was paid outside India. So payment wala part was done outside India, which is the second part, the accrual wala part. Interest is something for which you don't work. Your money works. I'll speak one line, see if you understand. Interest arises at that place where money is being used. Because it is not human work, it is capital ka work. One more time, I would like to tell you that government has made this payment outside India. If the government had made the payment in India, so do we need the deeming provision? By default it becomes, and then you have to pay tax. You are the only person whom I cannot see. By default it becomes Indian income and you have to pay tax. But the payment took place outside India. And interest is one such thing where accrual ke liye you don't work. So what are we going to do? We will see where did your money work. I am the assessee, the person who has earned the income. I will see where did the borrower use my funds. The borrower has used the funds. Then only income arises. Think about it. I lend you money. You use the money. As and when you use the money, interest arises to me. So where are you using the money is the place where my interest is arising. If the user is government, it is taken for granted that the money is used in India and therefore the interest is arising in India. Understood? The whole cycle here, I could have told you interest paid by government is Indian income. But logic kya hai, sir? Because interest arises at a place where we use the funds. And if government is using, it will use. It is not impossible that government does not start or cannot start a project outside India. It can. But if government is using, it is presumed that it will use in India only. Okay? More clarity will come after the other 2 points. Supposingly the interest is received from a resident. Lender is resident or non-resident? Lender is non-resident. Then this resident is who? The borrower. Borrower will use the money. The lender ka income will arise. If the borrower is a resident, where do you think he will use? Where is his ordinary place of stay? His status is given to you as resident. What is his ordinary place of stay? So where will we assume that he will use my funds? And therefore where will the income arise? In India? Except. Matlab, can I say that if the borrower is resident, then interest will be treated as Indian income? Except if the borrower, who is the borrower? A resident. If the borrower uses the funds outside India. So normal circumstances, any interest received from a resident is Indian income. But if he is using the funds outside India, that means the place of utilization of funds becomes outside India. That means interest is arising outside India and I am a non-resident, I will not pay tax on that. In effect, do you understand? Resident ka normal circumstances mein usage will be in India. So normal circumstances mein we will take it as Indian income. But if he uses outside, then we do not take it as Indian income. So conclusion is, place of utilization of funds is the place of accrual of interest income. Logic. And if you have really understood the logic, I think you will be able to give me this answer. I will not tell you to give me the complete answer. You will have my support here. Interest is received from non-resident. By नहीं बोला है, from बोला है. Who is the assessee? Non-resident. And in this third case, do you know, this person also when we use the word from, Matlab these guys are our borrower. If government is borrower, it will use in India. If resident is borrower, it will use in India. And in case outside, then we have already prescribed exception for it. If non-resident is borrower, then also it will be treated as Indian income. Wait. I said, no, you will give me the answer. I have not asked my question yet. Let me see whether you can do this. Spent, used. Perfect. But take this much mistake so you can make. It's okay. If one non-resident is paying interest to another non-resident, first of all, where is the question of income being taxed in India? Imagine karo, Barack Obama gave a loan to Hillary Clinton to fight elections against Trump. Clinton fought against Trump, no? I don't know what was your age at that time, because this is about 8 years ago. 2016. The midnight of 8th of November, it was supposed to be the election result between Trump and Clinton. The whole world was keeping a track of what is happening in America. Suddenly, wo globe ghoom gaya and focus came on India, because that also was the day when demonetization was announced. Exactly the day when Trump won elections. Modi ji ka na attention lene ka thug life is next level. Seriously, I'm telling you. Okay. World war is going on, but he can make meme material. That's Modi ji for you. So imagine karo, Barack Obama gave a loan to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton will pay him interest. Barack Obama gives loan to Hillary Clinton in America, and in America Clinton pays interest to Obama. Can it attract tax in India? No. Obviously no. But in case Clinton uses that fund, that money, only if the funds are used for business in, then only. And there is one small defect in the law here. आ गया time. घटिया बकवास भाई यार. These words are not required. Matlab, if this borrower is using money for buying house in India, so it is not Indian income. If he is using money to buy shares in India, so not Indian income. Using money to buy debentures in India, so not Indian income. Using money to buy fixed deposit in India. Only if the non-resident borrower is using the money for investing in business in India, it is treated as Indian income. This is a defect. This requires correction. One day I will become the finance minister of the country. Very soon. It is a matter of time. Discussions are going on. We just have to finalize our terms. I will not stop teaching tax though. 2 batches of CA final per year. 1 in Hindi, 1 in English. And 2 batches of CA inter in a year. Both in English. 1 for May, 1 for November. And if I am teaching, imagine karo, finance minister is teaching income tax. What I like, karte, if I say something wrong, you are like, sir, this book mein something else is written, you have said something. No problem, tomorrow I will change it. Ghar ka raaj chalta hai. Correct or no? This is a big defect. They should have said used for any purpose in India. Uski jagah pe they have said used for business in India. Itna sa defect hai. It requires correction. This defect is not a recent defect. This is what is stated in the law. 2 decades almost, because when I studied tax for the first time, even then it was this only. And I studied tax for the first time 16 years ago, 15, 16 years ago, approximately. It is still the same. Surprisingly, auntie is changing all logical stuff to illogical, but illogical stuff does not catch her attention. Surprisingly. But fair enough. we conclude, you know what, I can merge these 2 points and simply say, borrower can be resident or non-resident. We are interested in usage of funds in India. If the funds are used outside India, understand, outside India, whether resident or non-resident, which normally is assumed to be outside India, it is not Indian income. And if the funds are used in India, for resident, we normally assume it will be used in India. And for non-resident also, with one additional condition, that only for business. In that case, it will be Indian income. And as far as government is concerned, it is taken for granted. It is assumed that government is always going to use your funds in India. And accordingly, this interest income will be treated as Indian income. In these 3 cases, we are interested in this only when the lender is non-resident. Otherwise, the discussion would have not taken place. So, what are the 3 occasions where interest income will be treated as Indian income? First, paid by government or received from, means you receive, government pays. Paid by government, paid by a resident or a non-resident when the funds are used in India. Non-resident diya to for business. And if the funds are used outside India, then whether paid by resident or non-resident, it will not be treated as Indian income. Because interest income arises at the place where the funds are utilized. I said interest arises where? Uska answer is not interest is accrued. Because interest arises where is same as interest accrues where? Where the funds are utilized, the funds are used. Is that understood?
First point is applicable only for individuals.
Why?
Like if India takes loan from some country.
India nahi, government. हाँ.
And it pays interest.
हाँ.
So that will be applicable.
Yes. Going by what is stated here.
But if
Listen. Here. नहीं. देखो. Individual say if loans are taken, it is taxable. You don't find it illogical. It can be a foreign partnership firm, foreign company, foreign any person other than government.
So
it is still taxable. You don't find it illogical. Your doubt is when a foreign government is paying interest or foreign government is giving loan. So government of India is paying interest to the foreign government. That is your doubt. Ruko na. Is that Indian income? Yes. Yes. Is it taxable income? वो तो when 9 chapters will happen, no? There can be a case where an income is Indian income, but we will not take tax on it. Currently, we are not discussing about taxable income or exempt income. Currently, we are talking about Indian income and foreign income. One day, your thing will be automatically taken care of. Understood? It's a big law. It will take care of. Okay? Supposingly, normally our government wants to take tax. So, it will take tax. But sometimes we are desperate for money. So, government only has the power to make the law. Bolega foreign government ko give your funds, we will exempt it. We are the ones who tax it, so we are the ones who exempt it. Simple. And for this, income tax law does not need to provide anything. The 2 governments enter into agreements with each other, treaties with each other, also known as international conventions with each other, where we have to maintain those cordial relations. मेरा कल वाला रशिया वाला रील देखा क्या? नहीं देखा. I'll send you the link. When we are dealing with another government, objective is less of tax and more of maintenance of good relations. Okay? हाँ, तो मैं रशिया के बारे में yesterday I had said something. It became a bit popular. But obviously, final caste students understand all those things very easily. Inter-caste students are not generally of your caliber that I can actually even talk these things. But I am liking the fact that I get more opportunities to discuss things with you because you understand. नहीं तो 2-4 चीज बोला होता ना, so you would have disappeared from there itself. So I think in my little explanation you have understood. If the discussion is Indian income or foreign income, what is your answer? Taxable or exempt के लिए we have huge number of chapters. 9 chapters only for deciding that. No, so हो जाएगा काम. Next, income. Income in the form of royalty. Similar to interest, 3 points will come. But just like for interest, we created an atmosphere, mahal. We need to create it for this. If we wanted to define interest, what was interest? Income earned on lending of funds, capital, yeah, If we talk about it from the payer ka angle, तो amount paid on using other person का funds depends on lender या borrower किसके angle से you're talking about. What do you know or understand about the term called royalty, except the fact that some years ago it was a nightclub in Bandra which has shut down? Other than that, do you know anything? हाँ चो रॉयल, अंडे अब ये मत बोलना सर रॉयल्टी की जगह पे ड्रॉप खुला है सलमान खान का. Actually, तो I want meaning, but I'll allow you to give an example. एक मिनट, let him speak. No, everyone will get a chance.
Someone has introduced a new product or something, and he has given the right to sell it to someone else, and that who has the right to sell it now will give like 5% of some royalty.
Any percentage.
Any percentage to the owner, to the person who has introduced or made that product.
ठीक है, बोल. For what?
Like the owner of the product.
So you say product. हाँ, और कुछ बोल.
It can be skill as well, right? To use the skill.
For human skills, no, there is another income prescribed that is called fees for technical services. So what you see is between royalty and fees for technical services (FTS), the distinguishing factor is whether it is human skill or whether it is some other asset. Okay. Royalty, if I have to define in one line, is a rent. Whenever you use land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, fixture belonging to someone, means one person owns an asset, another uses the asset. The user of the asset pays rent to the owner of the asset. So royalty is a rent on usage of intangible asset. Tangible asset, if you use belonging to other people, so you have to pay rent. Intangible asset. And more appropriate, intangible asset is also itna appropriate nahi, jitna appropriate is the term intellectual property. Most appropriate word is actually, absolutely right. Most appropriate word is the word intellectual property. But to keep it simple here, understand please, what is royalty? Rent on usage of intangible asset. That means there is this intangible asset, and then as we already decided, you can actually call it, and this is a more appropriate term called intellectual property. This intangible asset is having an owner. That means the person who invented the asset, and this asset is being used by someone else. Example: copyright. When and for this, the owner of copyright is an author, and the user is, publisher, publication house, publisher, you may call it whatever you want. So whenever an author writes a book, author knows only how to write a book. Author does not know how to print it and sell it. That's not his job. There will be a publication house which will approach the author. Have you heard of an author called Chetan Bhagat?
Yes.
Huh? The Rakhi Sawant of Indian literature. You've read his books? He was a good writer once upon a time. His first book, what was so funny? Rakhi Sawant of Indian literature. Nahin? Or you remember some line from his book? No? Nothing. Chal, wo bhi theek hai. 5 Point Someone, first book, superb book, converted into a movie called 3 Idiots. One Night at a Call Center, superb book, horrible movie called Hello, made by Salman Khan. 3 Mistakes of My Life, superb book, and another hit movie Kai Poche, Sushant Singh Rajput ka movie, cricket ke upar. Next book, superb book, 2 States, converted into a movie again, and also a hit movie if I am not wrong. Then, pata nahi what happened to him. He wrote a book called Revolution 2020. Depressing, matlab you read, no, you feel like, Life is so bad. He wrote a book, What Young India Wants. He doesn't even know he has become old now. And then he wrote a book called Half Girlfriend. Do you know, before becoming a movie, it was actually a book written by... He's so cheap, so sleazy, that the name of his publisher is also, publication house is also Rupa and Company. Any idea? No? To hell with it. Every time he writes a book, he just writes and finishes. Responsibility of selling the book will be on the publisher, Rupa and Company. So every time one copy is sold, there will be a payment made to the author. That is called royalty on copyright. So he is the owner because he wrote it, and this is the user generating income using the asset. We say royalty to an author on copyright. CA mein hota hai. I told you, no, why we should have spoken about CA only anyways. I write 6 books per annum, 4 for final and 2 for inter. And I am under a contract that I cannot give loose copies of my book to anyone, any person, any organization. So whenever I join work with any organization new, first time, my first condition is my published books have to be given. Money is a second criteria. Money earn karne ka, I have got 100 ways now. If I leave everything and go off to sleep right now, no, there is some meter running somewhere. My shares are paying me, my bank investments are paying me. Unfortunately, I am not so rich that I can invest in a property in Mumbai. Otherwise, shares are paying, bank interest is paying. And even when I am sleeping, people are buying video lectures on my website. If I leave everything and only, I told you, no, finance minister banke bhi I will take 2 batches because I will sell video lectures. I will record and sell. So I have to take only the batch once in a year. Then I don't have to teach every day. I can focus on the economy also, which will still be better than the present finance minister, despite having multiple assignments. Okay. So I write a book. I am under contract. The company, Coppergate, only can sell my books. And every book has to go on their logo. Also a contract for video lectures. No class is allowed to give my book on their cover page or allowed to give my video lecture to anyone. That's my first condition. So basically, my book ke andar I have got registered. I write the book and the copyright is with them. My books and video lectures ka exclusive copyright is with them. Today I have reached a stage where I can just tell them ke bas abhi mereko mera khud ka karna, because I have got enough funds. Whatever is their contribution today, no, wo main 2 staff ko employ karke I can get it done. I don't have to share profits with them. But unless they do anything wrong or bad with me, no, is life mein I will not live, because they supported at that time. Simple hai. Okay. So let them enjoy the profits also, because once upon a time they also took the risk. Loss kidhar hua? First day se sales hua. Loss hua hi nahi. They invested money, but they got sales right from the beginning, because those days no one was there only in video lecture. There was no market called video lecture. We convinced people that video lecture bhi ho sakta hai. Samjha kya? So I am the author. I get royalty every time a copy of the book is sold. Every time one set of video lectures are sold. वो भी मेरा ही intellectual property है. समझा? Another example. Patent. Invented by a scientist. So there is a scientist, Ayyar bhai, who invented a formula, daag jaye par rang na jaye. With that formula, there is another company called Hindustan Unilever or Procter and Gamble, which is manufacturing detergent, putting the detergent in packets and selling those packets. Every time a packet gets sold, the scientist will get a payment, a share. That share is called royalty. So whenever anybody, these were only examples. Abhi intangible asset ka list banane ko bologe na, so drawing, design, brand, anything like that. If you start making a list, One person will invent it, another will use it for the purpose of making profits. So a share has to be paid, and that share will be called royalty. इसमें और अगर डिस्कशन करना है ना, honestly, it always need not be in the form of a percentage. Simple है. I write a book. I तो already am under contract. Supposingly after becoming a CA, you write a book. I see the book. मैं बोला I will give you 5 lakh rupees. Take 5 lakh. Your book is mine. इसके बाद 1 copy gets sold. तो my lookout. 1 crore copies sold. My lookout. In other words, I have purchased your. That is not royalty. ये क्लियर होना चाहिए. Royalty is only if it is given to use, not sale. अगर सेल हुआ तो it is capital gains because it is sale of an asset. Asset can be tangible or intangible. ये क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए. Because there are customs systems of lump sum royalty. बोलने के लिए it is lump sum royalty. Actually it is sale of your intellectual property. And now you have to examine the facts. Facts क्या है? If I take lump sum also from you, but I continue to use it, मतलब it is a non-exclusive contract. Possible? So it is still royalty. Capital gains कब होगा? When the rights are surrendered. Then only it is capital gains. All my lectures and books are recorded under the brand of Coppergate. Okay? We make sales. Every time there are sales of books, mein to we don't have any margin because books we give to people at cost price. We believe in not making any money in books. Sometimes the selling price is a little higher than the cost price. Reason 1, courier charges have to be incorporated. Reason 2, there are some students not from very heavily privileged backgrounds, less privileged backgrounds, who have to approach us. And we don't charge fees from some students at all. It is our responsibility as teachers to contribute a little towards society. So if there is any genuine case, fees are not charged. So wo book ka cost to we have to bear. No? If fees are not charged. So the total cost is the total recovery. If some sets go free, so that cost has to be absorbed in other. Isliye the difference may be of 100 rupees or something per set. But that is not for making profit. It is only for adjusting the cost of those free wala sets. Starting mein when we had made an announcement that we will provide free education to any student from underprivileged background, we thought we are doing something good. But ultimately CA का students है ना, इसमें misuse कर देंगे. बिल्डिंग के नीचे कम से ना मर्सिडीज ऊपर आके सब बोला सर we have financial constraints, तो भाड़े पे लेके आना. Seriously man, seriously. Then see that means you force good people to become bad. थोड़ा सा rule change किया. Even today anybody from underprivileged background, free education. Condition is that reference or recommendation should come from such a student who has paid full fees. So one pays full fees and then says that this friend of mine is genuinely not able to pay. So granted free of cost. So obviously automatically it becomes genuine because the one who pays will not want that other does not pay. वो कभी that is human nature. Obviously. तो automatically वो check हो जाएगा. We never wanted to do this but we had to do this. Okay. This is for वो pan India जो video lectures हमारा जाता है. In that only I am talking about. If it is a genuine case, we provide it. So whatever is the profit on books is actually no profit. Whatever is the profit on video lectures, we get a share. Okay. वो royalty हो गया. अभी because of the popularity, especially at the final level जो video lectures का है, there are some independent organizations which run app-based coaching. और सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल चला रहा है, मतलब सीए कोचिंग चला रहा है कि नेटफ्लिक्स, वी डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. सब्सक्रिप्शन मॉडल, पे 5,000 पर मंथ एंड वॉच अनलिमिटेड. ऑनेस्टली इट्स अ स्कैम, क्योंकि ये सीए कोचिंग है. 1500 घंटा लगेगा टू फिनिश योर पोर्शन वंस. You don't have the patience to watch anything twice. No CA student watches any lecture twice. कोई नहीं देखता. Another option is given is, we will give you multiple faculties per subject. मतलब we in the monthly subscription, you want direct text का lectures, faculty A, faculty B, faculty C पूरा upload किया हुआ है. You watch whichever. ऐसा जैसे Netflix में 10 movies are uploaded, you watch whichever. You think you can learn one subject from multiple people like that? Possible ही नहीं है. But to show that the app is best, they give these options. अच्छा, स्टूडेंट को लगता है अरे वाह 5,000 में ऑल सब्जेक्ट्स का एक्सेस मिलेगा, बट एक महीने में देख नहीं पाएगा. When you have to attend 8 hours का कोचिंग, it takes 7 months for your portion to get over. तो मिनिमम तो 5,000 into 7 मिनिमम उतना सब्सक्रिप्शन तो you have to pay. That is after the first month if you like the lectures. करेक्ट. और कैसा है, क्लास है ना, तो 8 hours का लेक्चर्स है. When you watch it, वो भी मोबाइल के अंदर. Some people तो watch those lectures मोबाइल ऐप में. मोबाइल के अंदर you watch lectures. What is the probability that you will watch 8 hours per day? What is the probability that you will watch 4 hours per day? 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour? If choice is given to you, you'll need a 10-minute break after every 5 minutes of study. हाँ, बराबर है कि नहीं? तो effectively the student ends up paying more than the calculation. आप समझा क्या? But one of these app-based coaching organizations approach, बोला सर आपका लेक्चर हमको चाहिए, इससे there are chances that subscription बढ़ेगा. Annual payment we will give you. I said if you start giving subscription ऐसे तो मेरा direct sales effect होगा. They said sir you can sell directly, we will give it in a package only, no one can buy your individual subject. Buy करना है तो पूरा का पूरा package is compulsory. And they made one annual lump sum payment. बोला सर 1000 students होएगा तो we will take care, and 1 lakh students होएगा तो we will take care. You will get this fixed lump sum payment. Have I sold the right of my lectures? No, I have not. I have only allowed them to telecast my lectures in their app. This would have been capital gain if keep my lectures for 1 year. I will not sell to anyone else. आपका हो गया, full profit is yours. Then it is sale of my intellectual property capital gains. But I have given only for usage while retaining control. It's a non-exclusive arrangement. आप समझा क्या? That's royalty because it is only for usage. You have to examine the facts of every transaction. Then only you will be in a position to take a call. Fact examine करना. Have you understood this? So when I give my intellectual property to someone for use while retaining ownership, that will be called royalty. And if I transfer my rights to, वो capital gain होगा. Now do you understand this person is the person who will earn the royalty? Now let's not talk about sale because capital gain is already taken care of, bro. So we are now talking about usage. He is the person who is getting royalty. This person is the assessee in our discussion because we are discussing income tax. And income किसका है? Owner or user? That means he has to be the non-resident. Had he been a resident, तो खत्म टाटा बाय बाय गया. Why? He has to pay. Issue arises only when the receiver of income is? He is non-resident. Then when will royalty be deemed as Indian income? ये point number 8 in which list? हाँ, when? Now this is easy for you. वही यही. I'll write in the same format. Royalty, interest and fees for technical services in the same format I will write. First, if the royalty is received from government. Now tell me, who is the government? User. Like last time it was. मतलब government has used your intangible asset, intellectual property. It is taken for granted that the usage will happen where? Like interest arises at a place where the funds are used. Royalty arises at a place where the asset is used. Samjha? Now you will be able to complete this. Royalty received from resident. So this resident this time is our user. It is assumed that he will use where? अभी आप ही बोल दो. Except if the asset is used, in that case it will not be treated as a loan. Correct? Third full point you will tell me. Wait. Received from, that means non-resident becomes our. Continue. Only if the asset, when we say used, matlab what? The asset, of course. Upar bhi I have written used only. Used in. And here they have not said business. So that defect is only in interest income. That defect is not there in royalty. Not even in FTS. Understood? So once you understand interest income, understanding the taxability of this income is not difficult. 3 situations. And do you realize? I could have directly told you the 3 points. But the background that we created helps us to understand everything proper. With one disclaimer or one request or one order. One day we will do the chapter deductions. One day we will do it. Usme aayega, any person earning royalty income, there will be deduction given to that person from that income. That income won't be entirely taxed. There is a tax benefit prescribed. Section A, Section 80Q, QB. At that time, you can't forget the explanation of what is royalty income. No matter kitna time ke baad hoga, how many days or weeks or months ke baad hoga, whenever it will happen, today what I have explained, you need to know that. Is that clear? Chaliye. Last income. FTS, that is fees for technical services. Like interest, right, royalty, I just have to explain to you what fees for technical services mean. And then taxability is same 3 points. Right now also, if you want orally know, if paid by government, it is Indian income. Paid by resident, it is Indian income except if the services are used outside India. Paid by non-resident, it is Indian income except if, only if the services are used in India. Rule wohi hai. So can I say tax treatment to pura same hai? What is fees for technical services? 2 things I would like to tell you. One small, one long story. But this you will remember till your next birth if you are still pursuing CA. With the long story. The world considers royalty and FTS as same. Intellectual property use kiya to royalty and FTS is same. Fees for technical services is a gift given by India to the world. Only in India they are treated as 2 separate things, royalty and FTS. दुनिया भर में worldwide royalty and FTS are treated same. India draws a line. India बोलता है where the income is due to human involvement, we will call it FTS. And when the income is with only using the asset, human not required, so we will call it royalty. Understood? So supposingly video lecture के लिए you are paid, it is royalty. But video lecture के लिए there is some extra payment that every time there is a doubt you have to cater to it. Then that will become fees for technical services. Understood? Human involvement with FTS, and only India sees it like this. World says total income royalty. Understood? Whenever you have knowledge of any technical area, this is human knowledge. This is asset ka value. This is human knowledge. You have knowledge of any technical area, which everyone does not have. If you have a professional degree, So we will call it professional fees. Like a client paying a CA or a coaching class paying a professor. It's a professional degree. Correct? Eh? But without having a professional degree, if you are paid, then we will call it fees for technical services. To give you an example, the business of home inspection. Have you heard about it? You have. Kya inspect homes? Where is business in this? Really? A government ka municipal corporation ka officers come and do a survey and decide whether OC has to be given or not. Anyways, we are not talking about that. It is not possible that you have heard about the term home inspection in India because this happens only in developed countries. It is an American concept, the concept of home inspection. And India developed nahi hai. And when I was in the second standard, India was a developing country. Developed अपन है नहीं, underdeveloped ego hurt होता है, तो we are a developing country. Correct है. मैं second standard में आएगा मतलब, what 25-26 years old. India was a developing country then. Okay, 70% of India's GDP was agriculture. तो अभी कितना 71? Somewhere near that only. Fair enough. What is this concept called home inspection? India में this system is only not there. That is why you have not heard about it. But worldwide ये system होता है, especially in the developed country. When you are buying a house, hey Ishan, थोड़ा बाहर निकलना. I can't say, for you I have to come like this. When you buy a house, you pay crores of rupees. If we talk about a city like Mumbai, for buying a house, I will have to first sell myself twice. Main word तो वो है, twice. So buying a house is not easy. After paying crores of rupees, पूरा life you work for buying that one house, and after buying you come to know हाइला ceiling में तो leakage है, walls are not proper, high rise है, मस्त branded builder है, and then after shifting you realize that all the floors have leakage. Life savings you have given, and some of the biggest branded developers have defective constructions. ये है fact है. It's a very, very big risk in life that you are taking. तो कितना मस्त होगा if before you buy this house, there is an independent agency which comes and does what? It inspects the house. It takes a thoda sample from the wall, from the roof, from the ceiling, subjects it to some experiments, and then gives you a report whether it is worth buying this house or no, and if yes, then at what price. You see, normally Mumbai ka builders telling you that we are giving you 2000 square feet carpet area, 5000 this. कभी आपने ऐसे measure किया whether it is actually 2000 only? They say 2000 and they give only 1500. Most builders, especially in Mumbai, while this organization will do your inspection, it will do this also. That is the business of home inspection. Basically inspecting your house and giving you a report as a home buyer whether it is worth buying this house or no. India में ये trend ही नहीं है, but developed countries में people get this done before buying a house. इस business में the world leader is a company called Internachi. It's an American company. World leader of this business. It does home inspection in America. My brother-in-law, मतलब my wife का brother. Brother-in-law भी बहुत होता है. English is a very funny language. So my wife का brother, she has two brothers. One of them is the richest aluminium importer of Kolkata. One of the topmost. If aluminium का कोई भी company का tip he has given, मतलब the wealth will become 5 times. One such company he gave. उसमें मतलब full year में I must have not earned इतना income, इतना lectures लेके, उतना in that one stock I have. Very, very famous, popular. Even he does not know how much money he has. Every 15 days he travels to China. He imports 100 to 100 ton almost every month from China. And normal people का passport gets over in 10 years. But उसके passport में you go out, no immigration का stamp लगता है, you come back, immigration का stamp लगता है. 3 months में passport over because इतना frequent. Sometimes I feel that he also has a family in China, but we never investigated about that. नहीं तो he'll get caught unnecessarily. And the younger brother, useless fellow, qualified chartered accountant, no one takes him very seriously. He used to do odd jobs here and there as a CA. Odd jobs में, side में, he used to earn annually more than me. खाली ऐसे टाइम पास में. Okay. Then he decided business family है ना, तो he decided कि चलो we should also do business. He found out about this. And he decided to go and meet the parent company, Internachi, in America. First he came to Mumbai. ऐसा नहीं, कोलकाता इज नॉट सो बैकवर्ड के इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट नहीं है, बट नहीं समझ लेके मुंबई क्यों आया? नहीं, इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट है, बट ही केम टू मुंबई. आई विल मीट माय सिस्टर एंड मुंबई से आई विल कैच फ्लाइट यूएस का. तो ही केम टू मुंबई, ही मेट मी एंड ही आस्क्ड मी, ही एक्सप्लेन व्हाट एवर आई हैव एक्सप्लेन टू यू. सिद्धार्थ जी, आपको क्या लगता है इन मारवाड़ी कम्युनिटी द सन इन लॉ हैज टू बी रेफर्ड टू एज जी इवन इफ दे डोंट मीन इट. तो सिद्धार्थ जी आपको क्या लगता है? ही एक्सप्लेन द बिजनेस. If someone is paying crores of rupees, full life का savings, तो 50,000 रुपया तो देगा ना ये रिपोर्ट करवाने का. What do you think? Every time my wife का family is asking me what do you think, they have already decided. My opinion does not matter, but they just ask ऐसे time pass के लिए. He had already decided. Today I am asking you on a very serious note. आपको क्या लगता है? If somebody is paying crores of rupees to buy a house, तो 50,000 रुपये में ये रिपोर्ट हो जाएगा. That's the rough idea. Will that person pay 50,000? 5 करोड़ का हाउस पे करने के पहले 50,000, बाय करने के पहले 50,000 फॉर दिस रिपोर्ट. आई एम आस्किंग यू. नहीं, क्यों? Let us say that almost that house is finally decided also. It's only a matter of this opinion. This is what I also told him. He asked me, आपको क्या लगता है? This is a very good business, no? 5 करोड़ के पहले 50,000 is very normal. साल के 100 क्लाइंट भी हो गए तो 50 लाख का टर्नओवर है. Hardly any expense. आपको क्या लगता है? I said your business is going to miserably fail. Miserably fail. Because you are living in a country called India. Here people are sensitive to price. Of course, that is also a question कि whether this house is finalized or no. ऐसे पॉकेट में 50,000. But I said, assume के finalized. Still he will not spend 50,000. We are Indians. When we buy 5 रुपए का पेन from the stationery का shop, we check it 10 times on the notepad. ऐसा रख के अच्छा चल रहा है क्या नहीं. अंकल ऐसे थोड़ा घीसा तो नहीं आ रहा, दूसरा दो ना. We are Indians. We are Indians. When we withdraw money from ATM, no, we count it 5 times. ATM से निकला है, but we count it 5 times. बराबर है क्या नहीं? We do that. I said, when a person is buying 5 crore का house in Mumbai, no, first of all, no one has 5 crores unless you are Tata Birla. First, he must have sold some Purana house, some land, some shares. After that, little bank loan, little relatives का loan, little father-in-law से भीख, ऐसा करके he must have accumulated the funds to invest in the house. I have literally seen from my eyes when people somehow मतलब मर के करके कैसे भी they manage the funds to acquire the house. एक बार house हो गया, हाइला no money to pay stamp duty, again borrow from someone. I have literally observed people house हो गया, they shift in the house, plus sofa we will buy after 6 months, पहले settle, furniture बाद में. बट सोफा के बिना चलता नहीं, तो सोफा फर्स्ट लाया, बोला डाइनिंग टेबल बाद में. दे बाय अ टीवी इन द हॉल, बोला बेडरूम में टीवी बाद में, 1 year लगेगा, पहले सेटल डाउन होने दे. लेट मी कम बैक टू द बिजनेस साइकिल. इन ऑल दिस केओस मर के यू आर मैनेजिंग फंड्स ओनली फॉर दैट हाउस. एक्स्ट्रा 50,000 इज आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन. यू आर लिविंग इन इंडिया बॉस. वॉज माई ओपिनियन. बट एज यूजुअल द होल फैमिली डज नॉट लिसन टू मी. तो ही वेंट देयर. ही हैड अ मीटिंग विद द पेरेंट कंपनी आउट देयर. पेरेंट कंपनी का 2 कंडीशन था. कंडीशन 1 मतलब 1 कंडीशन दैट यू हैव टू have two requirements. दो ही condition है. One, you will have to have an office. Owned or rented, that is not their problem. Rent भी, क्योंकि anyways, client का office meeting is going to be hardly few minutes. Ultimately, it will be site inspection. No? But for client meeting, small office, big office, anything. So that criteria I was already meeting. अभी कोलकाता में तो themselves उनका खुद का इतना बड़ा corporate office है. That was never a problem. मुंबई में I had to unwillingly offer कि ठीक है, मेरा ऑफिस आप कभी कभी यूज कर लेना अगर मुंबई में क्लाइंट है तो. 6 months तक don't pay anything. Then if the business works, तो weekend share पे पहले से बोलना पड़ेगा ना. देखो, I cannot say blanket no, flat no. I have to stay in my house also. तो ऐसा ना भी नहीं बोल सकता हूं that you can't use my office. At the same time, I can't tell him कि lifetime you use my office. तो very sense, I'm very clever in all this. The 6 months तक use, don't pay anything. Then if business works, then we start saying, I knew it is not going to work. तो मुंबई कोलकाता ऑफिस हो गया. Second condition, you will have to buy a special camera, like an X-ray machine. That camera you will have to buy from them. With every time you get an assignment, go to that site, click pictures from that camera. Wall ka picture, roof ka picture, ceiling ka picture, click picture of the entire premises and send those pictures over there. We will make a report and say, "Arey, he is a chartered accountant. How will he know कि green color का image is coming मतलब it's a good house and yellow color is coming मतलब it's a bad house? He is a CA. You just have to click pictures and send. We will make a report and send. And if there is any query of the client, we will answer that also. Full service we will provide. Your job is have an office, have a camera and bring clients. Otherwise everything we will do. Charge 50,000 from the client. Half. You keep half, remit half. Work we will do, client you bring. That was the nature of business. His business failed as expected. तो to hell with it. अपने को example मिल गया. वैसे my wife का family is of no use to me, but I use them here. तो example तो मिल गया ना. क्या? The amount that we have paid to the parent company there. Half share we have given, no? That is fees for technical services. Because they have knowledge of a particular area which we don't have. And it is human involvement. It is not an asset. It is human involvement. It is not a patent or a trademark or a drawing or a design or a brand. Human involvement. So India distinguishes between royalty and fees for technical services. Understood? Another simple example, if you want. Have you heard of this company called 3 Mobile? नहीं. It is an Australian telecom company. Next time Australia का कोई भी सीरीज होएगा ना, तो जो bowler takes the run up ना, वो bowler के run up के पास में घास में that design will be made. या watch some of the past matches of India Australia. You will find this as one of the sponsors. जैसे इंडिया में वोडाफोन स्पॉन्सर वोडाफोन करता है, बट टीम मुकेश भाई का जी. ऑस्ट्रेलियन टेलीकॉम कंपनी. एवरी टेलीकॉम कंपनी नीड्स कॉल सेंटर. सपोजिंगली यू आर यूजिंग जियो का सिम एंड देयर इज नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम विच इज एवरी डे का प्रॉब्लम. तो व्हाट डू यू डू? हेलो मुकेश भाई, सिम कार्ड નથી પકડાતો મુકેશ ભાઈ. હેલો નેટવર્ક નથી આવતું મુકેશ ડાયરેક્ટલી કોલ મુકેશ ભાઈ. He's like, नहीं सर, ईशा संभालती है टेलीकॉम. अरे भाई, तो you will not call her also. Whom do you call? Customer care. That customer care is not Reliance का या Jio का customer care. There is an independent agency. That agency has started a call center. Reliance will give the database of its customer and that number 1800425333, whatever be that number. The customer will call on that number. The call will come in this independent call center and on the screen all the details of customer will come. The call centers are always handled by independent agencies. That is why we call it business process outsourcing, BPOs. Call centers. You know where is 3 Mobile ka call center? Kandivali. You know where is Kandivali? No, it is very much likely. Because, sir, we are obnoxious townies. We travel to London more than we travel to Goregaon. Very much possible. And all my life, I am born and brought up in South Mumbai. I have catered to students of South Mumbai. If it is a CA student of South Mumbai of the last 10 years नहीं बोलूंगा क्योंकि starting में it was a little slow, but last 7-8 years 99.9% cases that he has been my student. Anybody who has cleared CA in the last 8-9 years in South Mumbai, if you know anyone, 99.9% chances है मेरे. क्या तेरे को you know already people? कौन? This is such a common name that just leave. अच्छा हुआ it is दर्शित शाह not अमित शाह, नहीं तो अलग ही रिस्क होता है. 3 Mobile का कॉल सेंटर इज इन कांदीवली. सर वाई? बिकॉज दे थ्रो थोड़ा ऐसा चिल्लर में ऑस्ट्रेलियन डॉलर नो दैट कैन रन द एंटायर कॉल सेंटर. दैट मीन्स कैन आई से द इंडियन एंटिटी is providing customer care ka services to the telecom company so that the telecom company can focus on its main business of selling of SIM cards. Correct hai na? The payment received by the Indian entity from that foreign entity is also fees for technical services because you have knowledge without a degree. Then that is FTS. The degree hote it becomes a professional fees. But this example is more appropriate because here the call center was in India. Receiver is a resident. We are not interested in the place of accrual of income. But here, Internachi, the parent company, is a foreign company, non-resident assessee. So we have to decide whether the income has arisen in India. Interest arises at the place of usage of funds. Royalty arises at the place of usage of asset. So likewise, fees for technical services arises at a place of usage of services. Where did the client use the service? Case 1. Anything received from government. Acha, by the way, I should have told you this first. You don't cancel anything. Just dekh lo. If you have space, you can adjust it. There will be a non-resident who will be the service provider. Because the service provider is the person who will earn income. Yes, bolo ya no bolo. And this non-resident service provider will provide kya? Technical services to the service receiver. And badle mein you will get fees for technical. See, what you provide is technical service and what you get is fees for that. Correct? Now you can, if you have this much place, then don't contact any, don't cancel anything. And agar likh diya hai government, no, so this part you can make below the list also as an example. Received from government. Now you tell me, government kya hai? Service receiver hai. It is assumed that the services must be utilized in India. Abhi to yaar, you guys complete no yaar, aisa kya karte? Received from resident. That means this resident is, aage bolo. Except if, here it is not asset. Except if technical services used outside India. Very good. And तीसरा, received from non-resident. Non-resident becomes your service receiver only if the technical services were used in India. Maja aaya? That was finally your Indian income. Actual Indian income can happen in 2 ways. Do you still remember or forgot? What are the 2 ways? Received or accrued. ये दोनों हो गया. If the income is received or the income has accrued. Income accrues where you work. But these are those cases where no one works. It is an asset which is working. It is your funds which are working. So we see where the asset was used, where the fund were used, where the capital asset was located for capital gains, where the property was located for rent, where the company was located for dividend, likewise. Samjha? And final conclusion for your scope of total income is going to be something like this. Ye chart we have made before. Just a conclusion. Okay? Income is going to be divided into Indian income or foreign income. Thoda fine tuning hai. If received in India, Is it Indian income? If accrued in India, any one of them has happened in India, so Indian income or deemed Indian income. All this is Indian income. And what is foreign income? Anything which is not Indian income. See if you understand. I will only speak. Speaking is enough. Not received in India, not accrued in India, and not deemed to be Indian income. Samjha? Now, this is going to be taxable for कौन? ROR, RNOR के NR. That means can I say all three? Very good. And when we talk about foreign income, we have to further classify it under foreign income where controlled from India or other local foreign income. This controlled from India wala will be for whom? Taxable, so even other income will be. But for whom is the criteria? What scope of total income? ROR, RNOR. Correct? Hai? This will be taxable for ROR. Is this clear? Lekin, one last thing. This is applicable only for those assessees where ordinary, not ordinary ka breakup is there. Which is only there for individual and HUF. For the other assessees, what's the only breakup? Resident or non-resident. So, uske liye what will happen? Your non-resident will come and your non-resident won't come. Both places. Non-resident ka easy hai. Okay. Your resident will come and your resident will come or not come. So no. Supposingly, for those assessees in whose case the only criteria is resident or non-resident. Samjha? Then this breakup of income is not required. Indian income ke foreign income. Itna hi breakup required. Indian income will be taxable for resident and non-resident, and foreign income will be taxable for. It becomes very easy. So, I'll put a star here and that explanation is given. Matlab this star means this explanation. Samjha kya? For ordinary, not ordinary ka breakup wala assessee, this complication comes. For those assessees where there is no breakup, which is everyone other than individual HUF, there is no complication. Indian income, everyone, foreign income, resident. Ordinary, not ordinary hai nahi. Control from India, not control from India ka chaos is only if ordinary, not ordinary ka breakup is there. That is only for individual and HUF. Is that clear? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations, Abhinandanam ka. That's the end of your second chapter, residential status and scope of total income. Theory ka end hai bro. Sums, scope of total income ka sum. I think we did quite a few sums already, but I also told you to keep on marking what is done, what is not done. I distinctly remember that question number 1 to 8 to pura ho gaya because that was about residential status. Question 9 was remaining. Question number 9, page number 14. And I think ये question को solve करने के लिए we have space in the textbook itself. Correct है? तो we will read an income and keep on deciding that for which assessee how much is going to be taxable. चलिए. Income by income we will keep on writing. Question number 9, page number 14. Can you start reading please?
Question number 9. Discuss the taxability of the following incomes in each of the following cases. Number 1, resident and ordinarily resident. Number 2, resident but not ordinarily resident. And 3, non-resident.
Matlab, if you understand, we can solve the sum like this in a columnar manner. We'll write particulars. If the amount is taxable for ROR, we will write the amount here. Taxable for RNOR, write the amount here. Not taxable, then write 0. ऐसे करके we will do for every income. And at the end, we will take the total. So we can decide this income by income. I'll just tell you some steps in your mind. First column is ROR. You don't have to use your brain. Preserve it even if you have one. क्यों मालूम है? Just keep on writing the income, it is taxable. Second column is RNOR. उसमें you have to be the most careful. क्योंकि it is foreign income, then it won't come. Only case where it will come even if it is foreign income if the business was controlled from India. Okay? And then for non-resident, you will only write Indian income. So then, while reading the incomes, if any of the incomes happen to be Indian incomes, so then non-resident के लिए भी you don't have to think anything. So listen, either assesses ROR, तो first column में all amounts will come, और income is Indian income, तो जो row है ना, that income का row, in all three columns you will write the amounts, because Indian income will be taxable for all. Actually orally you will not understand. जैसे will go ahead in the sum, you will realize क्या हो रहा है. We have to write in the amount column how much is taxable. You understand these are three amount columns? चलिए देखते हैं. First income.
Interest paid by an Indian company but received outside India. The loan is utilized in India.
Rupees?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. When I have to write the amounts for these guys, here I will not use my brain. If I have a brain, I will use it later, preserve it. Correct? For the other two, we have to decide Indian income or foreign income. When does an income become Indian income? Accrued in India or it is received in India? Received to outside India. If work was done in India, it would have been Indian income. Do you want to say something? No? So what is this? Received outside. Accrued also outside foreign income? So that's why I asked. You want to say something? For an income like interest, there cannot be any place of work done. Where will it get accrued? In India? No. Where will it get accrued? Where funds are utilized. And where are the funds utilized? That means this is Indian income or foreign income. Once it is Indian income, it will be taxable for all three. I have not called you in class to fill these columns and take the total. If we write these columns and you have a good quality calculator, then taking this total is not your responsibility or my responsibility. It is the responsibility of your calculator. CA student and his calculator is probably the most romantic story on the planet. It deserves a dharma movie. When social media was flooded with hashtag couple challenge, I wonder why any CA student did not upload selfie with his calculator. So your focus should be whether the amount will come or no. फिर टोटल तो कैलकुलेटर लेगा ना. चलिए सेकंड इनकम.
Interest on Italian bonds, 1/4 received in India.
1/4 received in India, which also means that 30 was received. 1/4 मतलब 10 होता है ना. That much तो you understand. 10,000 received in India, 30 received outside India. Actually, do one thing. Don't read income 2 as one point. Segregate into two things. 30,000 and 10,000. Italian bonds का 30,000 received outside India. Italian bonds का 10,000 received in India. Which amount you want to discuss first? 30 का tax treatment or 10 का tax treatment? I would have been happy if you would have said 10 kind tax treatment. You know why? Because that 10, because it is received in India, it is Indian income. That 10 to pakka will come in all the 3 columns, including the non-resident one. Correct? Let's talk about 30. When you go in the first column, you are dealing with ROR. You don't have to think much. What will be the answer here? Can I say 30 plus 10, both will come, and accordingly the answer here is going to be 40,000. Very good. In the second and the third column also, 10 is to fix. We have to decide for the remaining 30. Received outside. And bonds are Italian bonds. Matlab, Italian company is using my funds. Bonds मालूम है ना आपको? Just like company issues debenture. Italian company is using my funds. So where are the funds used? Outside. जो received in India, that is already separately given. So that 30,000 is Indian income or foreign income? Foreign income. Foreign income will not be taxable for non-resident to for sure. So इसके लिए तो we will take only the 10,000 which is received in India. And for our NOR, foreign income can get taxed. And what do you conclude about this 30,000? Not. So that 30 will not come. So 0? नहीं. 10 तो आएगा ना. 10 was तो guaranteed at the beginning itself. Correct or no? Understanding is more important. If you are able to answer these things on your own, no, you are prepared. A question like this will come for 10 marks. 8 तो minimum. Leniency होगा तो 10 marks. Confirm. This is CA. ठीक है, 10th स्टैंडर्ड का हिस्ट्री का पेपर नहीं है कि इफेक्ट्स ऑफ फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर इज कंफर्म.
Profits from a business in Kolkata and managed from outside India, 40% of the profit is received outside India.
मतलब once again 60-40 का ब्रेकअप होगा. 60% is 30,000, 40% is 20,000. We can discuss about them individually also. 40 is received outside India. 30,000 is to confirm. Okay. Because if 40 is received outside India, that means 30 is received in India. So 30 तो confirm हो गया for all the 3 columns. 20 का discuss करते हैं. First column. क्या लगता है आपको? First column, do we even discuss anything? Can I say 30 plus 20? चलिए, 50,000. Anyways, 20,000 has become confirmed. नहीं, 20 के 30? 60%. 30,000 has become confirmed for the other 2 columns also. We are now discussing for 20,000 year and year. Very good. Very sharp. क्या लगता है आपको? Business is managed also from outside India. क्योंकि नहीं तो क्या है? Controlled from India or something like that is given, no? So you are saying 50 for whom? Thank you. हाँ, 30 तो कंफर्म है. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट 20 नाउ. मीन्स नॉट टैक्सेबल या नॉट इंक्लूडेड. मतलब अच्छा एक काम करो, नॉट टैक्सेबल नॉट इंक्लूडेड डोंट से, बिकॉज एग्जाम्ड इनकम टैक्सेबल इनकम वी हैव नॉट डन. वी जस्ट फोकस ऑन इंडियन इनकम के फॉरेन इनकम. 20 इज तो इंडियन इनकम. 20 बोल रहा हूं यार. 30 इज तो इंडियन इनकम. 60% 30,000. 20,000 is Indian income or foreign income? So क्या? देखो, you are giving one answer and then you are giving reason for the other answer. तो first give your answer, then give reason for your own answer. तुम बोलता 30 won't, 30 आ गया, 20 will not come. बट बिजनेस इज इन इंडिया. तो बिजनेस इज इन इंडिया, तो फिर मैं 20 लू क्या नहीं लू? फाइनल बोलो. तो पहले तो यू सेड टेक, देन डोंट टेक, देन से टेक. यू आर मोर कंफ्यूज देन डिमोनेटाइजेशन. हाँ, यू आर. सो देन व्हाई डिड यू से कि नहीं आएगा? नहीं बोला. अच्छा, हाउ मेनी पीपल थिंक दैट 20,000 विल बी टैक्सेबल फॉर द 2 columns? फर्स्ट कॉलम का पूछ ही नहीं रहा हूं. फर्स्ट कॉलम ब्लडी हेल. अच्छा लिख ही दिया. चलो मैं नहीं तो लिखने वाला था, बट आई हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन. आई एम डिस्कसिंग फॉर द सेकंड कॉलम एंड द थर्ड कॉलम. How many people think that? And I am not discussing 30,000. I am discussing will it come? यही तो डिस्कशन है. How many people 20,000 will come? If I raise my hand, no, it goes outside my camera frame. Straight up, elbow bending not allowed. चकिंग पता है क्रिकेट में? या ऐसा ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा. Okay. How many think? Thank you. How many think that 20,000 not taxable for the remaining two columns? अच्छा ऐसा everyone नहीं तो क्या होता ना? I would have asked many a times what happens in huge big size classrooms. Some people raise hand for one option, some people raise hand for other option. बाकी ऑब्जर्व करता. पहले नहीं, पहले तू बोल दे, हम देखेगा यू आर राइट और रॉन्ग. भारत में नाचने को आया है. Now anyone wants to give reason for their answer. हाँ, आपका आंसर क्या था? टैक्सेबल मतलब इंक्लूडेड मतलब इंडियन इनकम. हाँ बोलिए. And the other side of the class, any reason? Those who said नहीं आएगा, you have to give your reason. Sir, manage from outside India. मित्रों, once your business is located in India, it is deemed to be Indian income. Go open the list of deemed Indian incomes. If business is in India, to hell with the place of management. Foreign ka business, and listen. Foreign ka business is foreign income, not taxable for non-resident. But if controlled from India, तो NOR के लिए taxable बना देंगे. But if the business is in India, खत्म. It is deemed to be Indian income except two cases. अगर वो specifically mention किया तो only for purchases के only for collecting information. तो where is मित्रों the business located? Kolkata. If the business is in Kolkata, this is the reason why all three columns में 50,000 will come. Those who were wrong, एकदम relax करना. You are thinking and giving answers is more important. We are all here to learn. बराबर है? Next, income. Let's go ahead.
Income from agriculture in Sri Lanka received there, but later on 50,000 is remitted to India.
And income amount is?
3 lakhs.
3 lakh. Honestly speaking, the only mistake you can make, or if you make a mistake, is only because you are yet to learn the upcoming chapters. You may possibly have this thing in your mind, sir, agriculture income to totally exempt hota hai, and therefore we will not include in any of the columns because it may be Indian income, and we have been taught that Indian income is taxable for everyone. यहाँ पे तो agriculture is outside India, so it is foreign income. Still for ROR it will be taxable. But sir, agriculture पे तो anyways tax नहीं लगता है, तो you should write 000. So this is not a mistake that you have made. This is something that we have not yet studied only. We are still, these are early days, मित्रों. Agriculture income का exemption is there. I had told you constitutional reason behind it. But in that chapter, agriculture income, in fact, the very first thing of the next chapter, exempt income. Agriculture income is exempt only if the agriculture was done in India. That's the rule. तो exempt नहीं है. Exemption comes only if the agriculture was done. And this is not your mistake, huh? We have not studied only that chapter till now. So today, if you don't know how to compute income from salary or capital gains, that does not mean that you don't know anything. You have not been taught. Now that I have told you what I had to, अब तो कुछ बोलो. Will exemption be granted to foreign agriculture? No. 3 lakh is what you earn. 50 you send to India after earning. We have to decide the tax treatment. We have to decide whether to include or not. Exemption won't come. I'll ask you the easy thing first. First column. ब्रेन है तो भी यूज नहीं करने का. वेरी गुड. एक मिनट. Full 3 lakh. Let's divide in two parts. If at all you are interested, I didn't want to divide, but if you say so, divide कर दो. चलो 2.5 and 0.5. 50 was sent to India. Means 250 तो never came to India. This is Indian income or foreign income. This 250. Foreign agriculture. तो नॉन रेसिडेंट का आंसर आ गया. 250 तो नहीं आएगा. 50 we are yet to discuss. Okay, so 0. Foreign income. And our NOR ka foreign income also is taxable only if the agriculture business was controlled from India. Is there any such control? No. So this 250 is not going to come for both. Plus sign karke we have to decide whether the 50,000 will come or not come. 250 won't come, is that clear? But for ROR everything will come, is that also clear? 50,000. Indian income or foreign income first of all? Kyunki you earned where? In Sri Lanka, outside India. So no one disagrees to this that it is foreign income. This foreign income was later remitted. Remitted means transferred, sent back to India, remitted to India. Is that making you feel, because some students said, sir, 50-50 will come because it was remitted to India. Do you think that it will be taxable? Will it be included as Indian income? 250 to won't come because it never came to India. Foreign income hai. That will be taxable only for ROR. Can't be taxed for R, NOR or NR. What about this?
No, sir.
Now for those who have not understood, let me explain why this is nil and nil. Please listen. Income earning is a two-step process. Tell me those two steps. Accrued and receive. First you work, then you get paid. Where was this work done? Sri Lanka. And where was the payment received? That means the whole income earning process was done in Sri Lanka. Therefore it is foreign income. Our NOR ke liye we would have taxed agar controlled from India hota, but that is also not given. NR ke liye to not tax only. One day you have sent that money to India. Does that mean you have earned income in India? Ye question hai, bas ye question. Only this much question. You have sent to India, no? But remitted to India bola na. Some people say कि जैसे ही question में India दिखेगा, I will to take it. If India is given, I will take it. बस नहीं, sir, India दिया मतलब Indian income. Then it is in the form of remittance, sent. And if you still don't understand, let me make it a little even further. थोड़ा और easy. आयुष ना, मेरे को सबका नाम मालूम है, except you because you were not there in the. हाँ. आयुष CA बनेगा May 23 में इंटर एंड May 26 में फाइनल एंड July 2026 you are a chartered accountant. Just imagine. July 2026 के मंथ को हमेशा याद करना. All throughout the next 4 years, it will make the difficult journey a little easy. Because the next 4 years are going to be tough, very tough. Hard work, बहुत ज्यादा हार्ड वर्क. प्रेशर नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा प्रेशर. बट आफ्टर July 26 जुलाई नहीं, July 26 क्लैरिफाई करना. What do you plan to do? Education is one thing, profession is another thing. कुछ सोचा है? बोला नहीं सर, अभी यही तो खत्म नहीं हो रहा है, क्या सोचा? Anything you've thought of? नहीं. Anyone who has thought of a career option? पढ़ाई क्या कर रहे हो? पढ़ाई तो यार CA कर रहे हो. Any पढ़ाई you could have done. What after CA is equally challenging. क्योंकि क्या होएगा, for 4-5 years of your life you CA ये खत्म नहीं हो रहा है, क्या? One day अचानक you have become a CA. करे अभी क्या करूं? कंफ्यूजन होगा. Till yesterday you were eating free का खाना at home and you still had sympathy of people. बच्चा इतना मुश्किल वाला पढ़ाई कर. Suddenly today when you will eat that roti, no, you will feel no यार, now तो I should earn it. ये तो मेरा responsibility है. How can I eat this free का roti? यू विल स्टार्ट डिसलाइकिंग योर सेल्फ आफ्टर बिकमिंग। ये होता है, मेरे साथ हुआ है, मेरे साथ ज्यादा होता अगर आई हैड नॉट स्टार्टेड टीचिंग। मेरे फ्रेंड्स के साथ, दे आफ्टर 11 years of becoming CA, they are still not happy with what they are doing. क्योंकि during CA course they never thought of it. After becoming CA अभी क्या करूं? 1 महीना, 2 महीना, 3 महीने के बाद में जो फ्रस्ट्रेशन लेवल बिल्ड हो, हाउ कैन आई बी अनएम्प्लॉयड आफ्टर 3 months of becoming a CA? जो जॉब मिल रहा है वो ले लो। They took it only because they were not sure, confused था, and after so many years also they are doing it without happiness. And on the contrary, जब ऐसा होता है ना कि CA पढ़ते पढ़ते पता चल गया कि अपने को एक दिन यही करना, सर ने दरवाजा खोला और क्लास में घुसे, उसके बाद मुंह से आवाज किसी का नहीं निकला, लाइफ में नहीं निकला। इज इट सेम नाउ ऑल्सो? इज इट? वो पिन ड्रॉप साइलेंस हमने हमारे बचपन में, एक्चुअली इफ यू ड्रॉप अ पिन देन यू कैन हियर द साउंड। डर मतलब नेक्स्ट लेवल का डर। एंड आई वॉज एट दैट टाइम ओनली, मेरे को यही बनना है, आई वॉन्ट टू बी हिम। एंड आई ऑलवेज टेल, अभी ठीक है 2006 के बाद आई हैड स्टॉप्ड, मेरा बैच कंप्लीट हो गया, आई प्रोसीडेड फर्दर इन माई CA लाइफ, आई वॉज बिजी। 13 साल तक एक दूसरे से कोई कांटेक्ट नहीं था, अचानक से 2019 में कांटेक्ट हुआ, कुछ इमीडिएटली करना था। एंड दैट डे आई सॉ दैट कॉल, आई वॉज लाइक आई हैव बीन वेटिंग फॉर दिस कॉल सिंस सो मेनी ईयर्स, बिकॉज आई एम हियर और आई हैव डिसाइडेड दैट आई विल बिकम दिस ओनली बिकॉज ऑफ सर। आई वॉज वेटिंग फॉर दिस कॉल। तो कुछ प्लान किया, बीच में कोविड हैड अदर प्लान्स, देन फाइनली अभी इतने साल से भले टच में नहीं था, बट नॉट अ सिंगल बैच और सिंगल क्लास वेर आई हैव नॉट, ऐसा नहीं कि सर का क्लास में बैठा हो इसके लिए आई एम सेइंग दिस, एवरी बैच ऑफ द लास्ट 12 years आई हैव टेकन हिज नेम, दैट आई एम टीचिंग बिकॉज ऑफ इट। एंड इसीलिए आई एम टीचिंग what sir told me, otherwise I am not used to teaching this batch size. I teach batch sizes where there is no place in the class. तो बैग सब ऐसा रास्ते में रखना पड़ता है। There are some people willing कि सर मैं इधर बैठ जाऊंगा, बैठने दो, बट सर सेड करना है तो करना है, फिर खत्म हो गया, there is no further discussion on that particular thing. तो मैंने डिसाइड कर लिया था, therefore I at a very young age reached where some of my friends are not going to now reach in the next 10 years also because they're still confused. इसलिए मैं आपको humbly suggest करता हूं that while this is going on, what after this also decide करके रखना, because there should not be a case where CA बन गया अभी क्या करूं, ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है। तो any student out here who has exact नहीं होएगा, everybody is not someone like me जिसने 17-18 साल के एज में ही सर को देख के डिसाइड कर लिया था कि टीचर बनना, खाली CA क्लियर करने जितना दे, बट लिटिल यार सर बिटवीन दीज टू ऑप्शंस आई एम एक्सप्लोरिंग कि मैं ये करूंगा या ये करूंगा, ऐसा कुछ है कि नो वन, बिल्कुल नहीं। दैट मीन्स देयर इज ट्रबल, आई एम टेलिंग यू। इतना ज्यादा टेंशन का बात नहीं है कि बोला सर एंड द क्लास राइट नाउ, आई नीड टाइम टू थिंक व्हाट आई विल डू, तो अभी क्लास छोड़ दो, नहीं, बट एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल, यू आर ऑल अंडर ग्रेजुएट्स, ग्रेजुएशन कंप्लीट करने के पहले डिसाइड कर लेना, इतना टाइम दे। व्हाट आफ्टर CA का आंसर आपके माइंड में शुड बी रेडी इवन नाउ। व्हेन आई वाज अवेयर दैट आई हैव टू बिकम अ प्रोफेसर, CA के अंदर आर्टिकलशिप हैज टू बी टेकन सीरियसली, वेरी सीरियसली। व्हाट यू कैन लर्न इन आर्टिकलशिप, प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज जो होगा वो आर्टिकलशिप भी देगा, एब्सोल्युटली टेक इट सीरियसली। And always prefer to go in a big firm if you need that work experience. But I was sure I have to teach. So a small firm which does not have much workload and gives me the freedom of creating my intellectual property, focusing on my that time passion soon to be converted into profession. क्योंकि पता था तो मेरे चॉइसेस बहुत इजी थे, समझा क्या? तो अभी एक रैंडम गैस लगे, मैं तो CA बन के ये करूं, अभी सोचा ही नहीं है तो कुछ तो गैस कर, भाई बनेगा, कुछ तो बोल। विच फर्म? बिग फोर, सैलरी मिलेगा। बिग फोर का नाम मालूम है कौन सा? 4 फर्म, डेलोइट, बिग फोर ज्वाइन करेगा, नाम एक का ही मालूम है तो ज्वाइन कर। फिर लाइक के बाद में रिसर्च करूंगा ना, अभी क्या, अभी इंटर का पढ़ाई इज गोइंग ऑन, 8 hours पर डे गो अवे लाइक दिस, रिसर्च करने का भी टाइम तो चाहिए ना। देन यू ऑल्सो मेक सेंस इफ यू से सो। ठीक है, डेलोइट, ईवाई, केपीएमजी एंड पीडब्ल्यूसी, 4। यू ज्वाइन दैट फर्म, यू गेट पेड सैलरी, इज दैट योर इनकम? ठीक, फिर वो सैलरी लेके तुम घर पे आए तो दैट इज योर इनकम अगेन। You didn't hear me, I'll repeat. Deloitte paid you salary? Is that your income? ये तो कोई discussion नहीं है। Then you brought that money home. That is again your income. अरे you got money home, no? So once you earn, which is a process of accrual plus receipt. After earning, वो पैसा लेके किधर you go, everywhere it does not mean कि चलो इधर भी income earn हो गया, अरे वो same money लेके you are roaming around. That does not mean कि इनकम वापस हुआ है। And therefore, just because question बोलता है इंडिया लिखा तो इंडिया नहीं, इंडिया में खाली लेके आया है, अर्न करने का प्रोसेस का एनी एक्टिविटी हैज नॉट टेकन प्लेस। And therefore, that 50,000 also will not come here. Don't fall for their trick. This is ICAI. They want you to lose marks. If everyone will pass तो वैल्यू क्या रहेगा? This is ICAI. They will strategically place banana ka peel, matlab kele ka chilka in your question paper because they want you to step on it and break your bones. You be careful. इंडिया देख के ऐसा फिसल नहीं बोलने का नहीं, वैसे तो मैं सख्त आदमी लेकिन यहां में पिघल। इनकम नंबर 5,
income earned from business in Nepal, which is controlled from New Delhi, rupees 75,000 is received in India, total value 4 lakh.
अब I am only splitting this into 375 नहीं होगा, sorry, 325 and 75, and this time I give you the opportunity of solving this. एक एक करके करो, चलो इजी करता हूं। 75 का आंसर पहले, 75 will come for all. चलिए, बाय द वे फर्स्ट कॉलम के लिए नहीं भी कुछ डिस्कस करता तो भी चलो। फर्स्ट कॉलम के लिए व्हाट्स योर आंसर? 4 lakh. फॉर द अदर टू 75 तो आएगा। द क्वेश्चन इज वेदर 325 will come. आप बोलेगा दिस इज फॉरेन बिजनेस, हैड दिस बीन Delhi, नो तो 4 lakh सीधा। But this is foreign business. Once it is foreign business, मतलब foreign income, तो can't come for him. तो इसका होगा, wouldn't have come for our NOR also, but New Delhi is in India. थोड़ा geography आना चाहिए. Because it is controlled from India, तो for our NOR, this will become taxable. This is the only place where tax treatment of our NOR and NR are different. Tax treatment in दोनों का different. Everywhere else, if you will observe, column 2 and column 3 will be same. So, column 1 is what? Write everything. Column 2 and 3, everything same except this one place, business control fund. चलिए देखते हैं how talented you have become if you continue.
Income from property in Kenya received outside India, 10,000 used in Brazil for meeting with the education expenses of ex's daughter there, and 40,000 is later remitted to India. So
मतलब what end use of funds you have done, that is also given to you. Income earned is 50. 10,000 you have ended up spending there itself. So the money that came to India was only 40. We have to decide the taxability column by column. एक एक करके करते हैं। फर्स्ट कॉलम ROR, अरे 10 is spent, only 40 is remaining. नहीं तो agreed, it is not expense tax, but there is no money left, no? Listen, I'll explain it to you in my way. अभी याद है ना डेलॉइट का सैलरी, लेट्स कंटिन्यू, नहीं तो स्टार्टिंग से वापस एग्जांपल वी विल हैव टू क्रिएट. डेलॉइट का सैलरी यू ब्रिंग होम, बट दैट्स नॉट एक्स्ट्रा, मतलब यू कांट से कि वापस इनकम अर्न हुआ. इट वाज अर्न्ड व्हेन इट वाज अर्न्ड एट दैट टाइम. डेलॉइट से यू बोलो फर्स्ट महीना में कितना सैलरी यू वांट एज अ सीए, फर्स्ट मंथ का सैलरी है, हाउ मच यू वांट? अरे सर यू डोंट हैव टू स्माइल, नहीं तो दे विल नॉट पे यू एनीथिंग फॉर स्माइलिंग. तेरे को कितना चाहिए? आई एम नॉट सेइंग हाउ मच दे विल गिव, यू वांट हाउ मच? 2-3 लाख. 2-3 लाख मिलेगा भाई, 2-3 लाख फर्स्ट महीने का बोला, फर्स्ट ईयर नहीं बोला. 2-3 लाख चल दिया, एग्जाम्पल है, कौन सा मेरे जेब से देना है यार, एग्जाम्पल दिया, गिवन, ग्रांटेड, हैप्पी. देन 3 लाख यू स्पेंड फैमिली का पिकनिक, फॉरेन टूर, बोला फर्स्ट सैलरी फॉरेन जाएगा, तो खत्म पैसा, मनी इज ओवर, नाउ टैक्स. क्या नहीं, टैक्स हैज टू बी पेड. आफ्टर अर्निंग मनी यू स्पेंड इट फॉर वॉट एवर पर्पस, खाना पीना, पीना में 1 मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस, यू स्पेंड ऑन योर फ्रेंड फ्रॉम कॉलेज, or you spend on your, you go and surrender at the feet of your wife. What you do with your money is irrelevant. Once income is earned, it is going to be, तो किसके सर चरणों में सरेंडर करने वाला? Sir, he is like, sir क्या you are asking me 10 साल बाद का क्वेश्चन, ask me today का, no? चल छोड़. What you do with your money is irrelevant. The income once received is going to be, once earned it is going to be taxable. So income कितना है? 50,000 taxable. Let's talk about the other 2 cases. I think it is easy for you to answer. 40 was remitted to India. I think all of you all have by now understood that this has got no effect in decision making. Because वो घर पे लेके आए, you don't earn it again. Where was the income earned? Kenya. Property in Kenya. मतलब accrued where? Outside India. And received also? Outside. Supposingly rent was received in India. तो question मतलब अपना discussion would have been different. But here that means 0 and 0. Very good. Next.
Pension from a former employer in India received in Iran, 2 lakhs.
As far as received का thing is concerned, ये outside India.
Yes, sir.
Had this been Iran नहीं उरन नवी मुंबई में, then it would have been taxable for all of them. तो received outside, ठीक है. Accrual we have to check. The only reason why you may give a wrong answer is because you have not studied the chapter income from salary. If you study that chapter and you come back and solve this sum, you don't need me for the right answer. Pension क्या होता है? I just have to tell you. Pension is an income taxable under salary head. Okay. When you are working for any organization, you work, paid, that is salary. After 20-30 years when you retire, you will not have any income. After retirement, your incomes will stop. After retirement, your expenses will also stop. पक्का? हाँ, ऐसा नहीं कि you are not a camel, sheep of the desert where खाना स्टोर करके रख दिया अंदर. Till the time I live, I will use अंदर से खाना. You need food, inflow, outflow every day is required. Correct है? And you belong to that category. ना सर झुका है कभी, ना झुकेगा कभी. You don't want to borrow money from your children. So secure your future when you are working. After retirement from job, you will be paid by your he has become ex-employer now. Something called pension. Anybody working in government sector, government employees after retirement will always get, when I'll do salary ka chapter, no, again and again I will ask you, government employees पैदा क्यों होता है? Why does he take birth? तो मजा करने. In that chapter you close your ears and sit, because बहुत दुख, बहुत चुभेगा मतलब everything, but just don't take it on yourself. General knowledge है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. ठीक? Why do they take birth? मजा मारने के लिए. They get pension. तो huge number of exemptions are given. दैट्स अ सेपरेट थिंग. दे गेट पेंशन. पॉइंट वो है, यू विल वर्क फॉर डेलोइट. नो, यू थिंक आफ्टर यू रिटायर फ्रॉम डेलोइट दे विल पे यू पेंशन नो मैटर हाउ क्यूट यू आर? कभी नहीं देगा, नहीं देगा. वंस यू रिटायर फ्रॉम प्राइवेट सेक्टर, यू डोंट रिटायर, यू डाई फॉर देम. यू डोंट एग्जिस्ट फॉर देम. वो बिकॉज देर इज अ लॉ कॉल्ड पेमेंट ऑफ ग्रेचुटी. लॉ चालू हुआ होएगा सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. इन इंडिया देर इज अ लॉ कॉल्ड पेमेंट ऑफ ग्रेचुटी. इट इज कंपल्सरी. In India, there is a law called Payment of Bonus Act. Payment of bonus is compulsory. In India, there is a law called Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act. PF का पैसा is compulsory. All these laws are in your law syllabus in intermediate. We call them POGA, POBA, Payment of Gratuity Act, Payment of. ऐसा call we laws को ऐसा SOGA. Some are like actually वो Sale of Goods Act है, but it defines what we do in class. SOGA. तो वैसे ही वी हैव पोगा, पोबा, ऑल दीज लॉज इन अवर इंटरमीडिएट का सिलेबस. बराबर है. तो जनरली पेंशन इज पेड ओनली टू गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज. तो होगा क्या? 30 years ऑफ योर लाइफ यू वर्कड इन इंडिया एंड आफ्टर योर रिटायरमेंट योर एक्स एम्प्लॉयर नाउ इज पेइंग यू पेंशन फॉर दैट वर्क ऑफ 30 years. That means the work that you did for 30 years is now making you eligible for this pension. ये सुनने के लिए I was telling you the whole story. Because salary accrues at the place of work done. And the only reason, now I say that, the only reason why you would have not answered on your own was because salary का income is yet to be done. मतलब salary का chapter is yet to be done. समझा क्या? हाँ. So once it is an income that has accrued in India, then it becomes Indian income, and then wherever it is received, can I say it is going to be taxable for everyone? Shabash. Excellent.
Sir, but otherwise also there is a certain fund created, right, for a pension.
That's optional. We call it the notified pension scheme.
So compulsorily, if now it is over here, it is not given the government has paid. So it can be a private company also that provides pension, right? So
normally private companies don't. Legally they are not liable. Option में ऐसा है, you work in private sector. Normally they are not legally supposed to or bound to pay you any pension. After your retirement, they tell you, no, you have done really good work for the company for your entire life. We really want to give you. So you'll be like, no sir, you recognize me, that is more important. बराबर ना? गुज्जू भाई, you will ask for interest also. बराबर है ना? तो legally not liable, but as an option they do pay. आप समझा क्या? So this can be any employee, but place of work done was India. चल, next income.
Past untaxed profits brought to India 20,000.
You want to say something or you want me to explain? Because every time I get to know something from you, I also understand what direction you are going. So you want to say something or I give you the answer? See, I give you the answer very easy. But you saying something is important. For which? R, NOR and NR तो पक्का not taxable. What about ROR? Because we have been told कि ROR में तो देखने का नहीं, just keep on writing them. That is what we have been told. बस. So I just wanted to know this from you. सुनो, you are not right. These two columns are 0. This will also be 0. This will also be 0. तो आप समझ गए. You pay income tax by including income in your total income if that income is income of the current year. Is that clear? I'll come to that. No confusion about R, NOR and NR. ठीक है? It is only remittance. Anybody who has understood the meaning of remittance knows this now. So उसका कोई confusion नहीं है. मैं बोलूं, मेरे को बोलने देना. I asked what? Second and third column का no confusion. I am coming to first column, no? क्या बोल? That means you have not understood the meaning of remitted to India only. तो ये वही हुआ ना. You earned somewhere. Now brought है ना. Brought to India is remitted to India. Means बाहर earn किया है. Now you are bringing the money. You are remitting the money. वही same चीज. You earn in office salary, then you take the money home. So do you earn again? So you are only bringing. So this income is not being earned right now. तो कोई हालत में नहीं. Is that clear? So second and third column तो पक्का नहीं है. Confusion anyways was for the first column. First column में first thing that we have studied is everything you write. We have contradicted that only. हमने तो लिखा ही नहीं. Okay. But while not writing, you have to examine the reason also. No? Reason one, the easy thing for me. Past income is computed of the current, of the relevant previous year. Past ka income cannot be included. And those who want to go into the depth, nahi sir, but past it was untaxed, so there is some tax liability pending. So the government should tax it now because it was not taxed in the past. I have an answer to that also. Past untaxed profit ke liye, you will see residential status of which year, of which the income belongs to or pertains to. Correct? Eh? Today, if you earn any income, you are ROR, you have to pay tax. But this was earned in the past. Now I have an important question. Is it possible that in that year, your residential status was different from your residential status today? That means we had to assess you on the basis of that year ka residential status. It will change every year. If you were resident at that time, it would have been taxed at that time itself. The fact that it was untaxed means that most probably you were at that time also non-resident, but in future because you spent more time in India, therefore you have become ROR today. But the year to which the income pertains, you were a possibly RNOR or non-resident, and consequently at that time we didn't tax you. And as far as your present day activity is concerned, what is the only activity that you are doing? You are just bringing that money to India. Are you doing any income earning activity right now? No. So therefore, it is going to be 0. Next.
Dividend from Indian company.
They have not given only where it was paid. So khatam. For all?
Yes.
Very good. And last.
Royalty income from services rendered outside India, but the said services were used by client in India and payment received outside India to them.
Receipt was outside India. Had this been in India, things would have been easy. Receipt is outside India. So we have to see accrual. For royalty, there is no work done. We have to see where the service bola hai or asset bola hai. It can be service or asset. Royalty and FTS are looked at the same thing worldwide. Where were they used? Where were they used? That means where is the income arising? And consequently, 2 lakh will be written in which column? एक बात बताओ, year तो we had to always write it. Second and third column are the column where we need to have that discussion. But because the services were used in India, so we will write 2 lakh in all the 3 columns. समझा? Oh, calculator fans, understanding is more important. Once you understand, then you are totaling, that is not my responsibility or your responsibility. It is your calculator's responsibility. Everyone clear? Chale. Fast tell me the total. 13. Although mental maths wala people, if this total turns out to be wrong, no? मैं मारेगा पकड़ के. 9 lakh. $40. 325 का डिफरेंस होना चाहिए. 6 lakh 45. Some are saying कि सर आपका हैंड राइटिंग समझ में आया. You have written in your book also, no? खुद का हैंड राइटिंग you understand? So take total from there, no? मेरा हैंड राइटिंग इज सच दैट आई कुड हैव बिकम अ डॉक्टर ऑल्सो. आज का नहीं, हमेशा का. एंड समटाइम्स इट इज एन एडवांटेज इन सीए एग्जाम्स. सर कैसे? when you don't know the answer and you still write something and paper checker does not understand what you have written, it is an advantage. आएगा तुम फाइनल में पहुंचेगा and when you will have to write theory answers in audit and law का subjects in CA final, no, you will come to know that bad handwriting is also an advantage. आएगा, that time will come. Okay, चलिए, chapter is over, but क्योंकि this was the first question on scope of total income, it deserved the time that we gave it. अब आपको ना थोड़ा स्पीड भी इंक्रीज करना होगा बिकॉज वी विल बी हैविंग सिमिलर क्वेश्चंस. आई थिंक 11 वी हैव कंप्लीटेड ऑलरेडी. ठीक, 12 एंड 12 का तो यहां पे आंसर इज गिवन बट नो वन विल रीड द आंसर. ओके, नो वन विल रीड द आंसर. अभी एक बार क्या हुआ, मस्त एकदम एक्साइटमेंट में क्लास में किसी क्लास में पढ़ाते पढ़ाते आई सेड डोंट रीड द आंसर एंड कवर्ड माय टैब. अभी प्रोजेक्टर पे इट वाज ओपन. तो मगजमारी चेंज. Don't read. Some are like still we have the book, but don't read. And question number 12. Please read the question. Please read the question. 5 minutes you can also enjoy.
A Korean company, Downjong Limited, entered into the following transactions during financial year 22-23. Explain briefly whether the items are taxable in India.
So you just have to decide whether taxable or no. Assessee non-resident. Had this been a resident, we would have said TTTT by. But because assessee is non-resident, we can tax only if the income is. चलिए देखते हैं which of them is Indian income. Accordingly, that will be taxable first.
Received 20 lakhs from a non-resident for use of a patent for a business in India.
Patent. कोई बात नहीं. What do you think? Because the patent was used in India, even if the payer is non-resident. See, there can always be a question. One non-resident paying another non-resident. Then how can it be Indian income? Because the asset was used in, therefore it is income accruing in, deemed to accrue in India, and therefore it is Indian income, and therefore it is going to be taxable. Continue. इस बार कोरियन कंपनी के लिए इट इज आस्क्ड यू तो आर रेसिडेंट होएगा. आई स्टार्टेड द क्वेश्चन एंड आई सेड दिस दैट इफ इट वाज अ रेसिडेंट तो वी वुड हैव रिटन टीटीटीटी एंड गॉन अहेड. ये दिस इज नॉट दैट कॉलम अंडर स्कोप ऑफ टोटल इनकम. दे आर आस्किंग यू फॉर वन पर्टिकुलर असेसी कोरियन कंपनी. असेसी इज कोरियन स्क्विड गेम्स. सीए का डेंजरस गेम्स, उससे ज्यादा स्क्विड गेम से भी डेंजरस गेम्स. प्ले दीज गेम्स. सेकंड,
received 15 lakhs from a non-resident Indian for use of know-how for a business in Sri Lanka, and this amount was received in Japan. Assume that the above amount is converted and stated in Indian rupees.
Payer is non-resident. If it was government, Indian income. If it was resident, Indian income except if used outside India. If it is non-resident, then it can be Indian income only if used in India. ये किधर use हुआ है? And by chance, see, payment was happening in India, then we would have still called it Indian income. But here, the payment also happened, and therefore it is not taxable because it is foreign income of a non-resident. Very good. Next.
Received 7 lakhs from RR Company Limited, an Indian company, for providing technical know-how in India.
Payer is resident, but that's not enough. The services were used. Therefore, it will be taxable.
Received 5 lakhs from R&O Mumbai for conducting the feasibility study for a new project in Nepal, and the payment was made in Nepal.
A payer is resident, क्या not taxable? Payer is resident, तो taxable, no? तो taxable क्या not taxable? Every time I get hyper like this, क्या है? That means मैं पक्का जानबूझ के कर रहा हूँ. And I do it purposely. In fact, every time I do this, final का students of my every batch have to become so sure कि ये every time I act like this, no? मतलब sir, I am right. बस कर लो जितना करना है, but I am right. Why not taxable? Even if the payer is resident, but the services were used and the payment also अगर पेमेंट इंडिया में होता तो इट वुड हैव बीन टैक्सेबल. ओके. क्वेश्चन नंबर 13 प्लीज.
Mr. X paid a sum of 5,000 USD to Mr. Y, a non-resident, a management consultant practicing in the USA, specializing in project finance. The payment was made in USA. The consultancy is related to a project in India. Is this payment chargeable to India in tax in the hand? Chargeable to tax in India in the hand of Mr. Y since the services were used in India?
Receiver is non-resident. If he was resident, तो taxable का answer was over. Yes, it is. But because he is non-resident, so only factor or criteria can for taxing him will be only if the Indian is, or only if the income is Indian income. This payment was made in USA. He is practicing also in USA, and payment is currency is also is, and therefore Indian income or foreign income. पहले तू सोच ले. You be sure. Indian income or foreign income? Payment outside. Currency US dollar. His practice is outside. Still you all are saying Indian income. बस इतना काफी है to make it Indian. That means the services were used. खत्म. टाटा बाय बाय गया. Any Rahul Gandhi fan here? You?
No.
So you said yes.
No.
So what did you say yes for? हाँ, खत्म. टाटा बाय बाय गया. अच्छा, for that he also said, and I say this in almost all lectures. मजा आया? मैं ये मजा हिंदुस्तान के हर व्यक्ति को देना चाहता हूं. Do you know he said that?
Yes.
In an actual, do you know he said that India is bigger than UK? Do you know he said this morning I got up at night? एक काम करो, Google, go to YouTube, search Rahul Gandhi funny videos, Rahul Gandhi memes. अब मैं आपको इसका एक्चुअल स्टोरी बताता हूं. This is not what is projected before you. Rahul Gandhi in that Alu and Sona wala story basically said this, that Modi ji is fooling people. Modi ji is selling false dreams. Modi ji is not good for the country. He is giving false dreams that I will make a machine. एक साइड से आलू डालूंगा, दूसरे साइड से सोना निकालूंगा. मोदी जी ऐसा झूठ लोगों को बोल रहे हैं, is what he said. बट बीजेपी का आईटी सेल नो इज द मोस्ट एक्टिव सेल. उन्होंने आगे का पीछे का काट दिया. ऐसी मशीन लगाऊंगा, यहां से आलू डालूंगा, वहां से सोना निकलेगा. ये 5 सेकंड का क्लिप. एंड गोइंग बाय द स्टैंडर्ड्स ऑफ राहुल गांधी, एवरीवन अज्यूम के ये बोला भी होगा, इसका कोई भरोसा नहीं. बट द रियलिटी वॉज दिस. गूगल राहुल गांधी फनी वीडियोस. अभिषेक उपमन्यु जो है वो जाकिर खान, दे विल हैव टू क्लोज देयर बिजनेस अगर राहुल गांधी ये बिजनेस में आ गया तो. ओके, तो बेसिकली खत्म. टाटा बाय बाय गया. वंस द प्रोजेक्ट इज इन इंडिया, देयर आफ्टर इट इज गोइंग टू बी इंडियन इनकम. तो जो सर्विस प्रोवाइड किया है, दैट मीन्स द सर्विस वॉज यूज्ड फॉर दैट प्रोजेक्ट ओनली. ना
वैसा ही है वो.
ले बस, मेरा जॉब कितना इजी हो गया. सो मेंटेन. स्टिल आई एम यूजिंग योर सर्विसेज. यू आर अ फॉरेनर. सर्विसेज आर रिलेटेड टू अ प्रोजेक्ट इन इंडिया, बट यू विल अज्यूम के किसी और प्रोजेक्ट के लिए यूज किया. ऑब्वियसली इफ द क्वेश्चन सेज दैट फॉर अ प्रोजेक्ट इन इंडिया, दैट मीन्स आई विल यूज फॉर दैट प्रोजेक्ट ओनली. नो, ऐसा होता तो दे वुड हैव सेड कि कंसल्टेंसी लिया फॉर वन प्रोजेक्ट बट यूज फॉर अनदर प्रोजेक्ट. नाउ व्हाट इज द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ दैट अजम्पशन टू बी राइट? समझा क्या? तो इट इज इंडियन इनकम. 14 इज नॉट डन. नो, 14 प्लीज.
Mr. Soham, an Indian citizen, left India on 20th April 2020 for the first time to set up a software firm in Singapore. On 10th April 2022, he entered into an agreement with LK Limited, an Indian company, for the transfer of technical documents and designs to set up an automobile factory in Faridabad. He reached India along with his team to render the requisite services on 15th May 22 and was able to complete his assignment on 20th August 22. He left for Singapore on 21st August 22. He charged rupees 50 lakh for his services from K Limited. Determined the residential status of Mr. Sohn for assessment year 23-24 and answered as to the tax liability of the fees charged from LK Limited as per the Income Tax Act 1961.
Okay. Understand. First, we will have to decide his residential status. Because he is being paid kitna rupees? 50 lakh rupees for his services that he has provided to an Indian company, LK Limited. एक तो बचपन से he was in India because he left for the first time in 2021. You know, every time we will be asked to compute last 4 years or anything like that, we have an answer to that. Is that clear? चलिए, ठीक है. He did this agreement on 10th April. But where was he at that time? Because he has already left in 2020. So while he did his agreement, he was outside India. Can you count that as his stay in India?
No, sir.
No. His stay in India will start from this particular date, that is 15th of May. Correct? Hai? And then I think he has left India on 21st August. 20th August is work completed. He left. My question is 21st will be included or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, क्योंकि outgoing day has to be counted. पहले तो एक काम करेंगे from year till year, his current year का stay. Then we check last 4 years, 7 years and all. Correct है कि नहीं? Let's see. This is our question number 14. Stay during 20 to 23. May में, April में तो he was not there. May में he came to India. तो 16 दिन. We have to count. Who had made that mistake? You had made that mistake yesterday, no? क्या था वो? 10th को you had made. वो 1 day. So accordingly वो 21 का 22 days. Now you understood कि 31 में से we have to exclude and thus 17. चलिए fast. June full month. July full month. And August
21.
Accordingly. Current year 99. Mental analysis. Some are like, sir, scope of total income हुआ. Now you can't expect us to remember 63, 65. अच्छा, तो सैलरी करके forget scope of total income. Then PGBP करके forget salary. Then last chapter में forget all the chapters. You have to remember everything at all times. 99 days. Had this been 182, तो resident, then 50 lakh is taxable. Then wherever you want it is taxable. If this was 59, non-resident. Correct? But this is between 60 to 1. Then what do we do? Why it is not applicable? Because he has gone, left India for the purpose of job. Correct hai ki nahi? Yes. Yes. Okay. Now there is one defect in the suggested answer given by institute here. This is institute ka suggestion answer. They said when he left, he left. At that time 63, 65 not applicable. In the current year he has come back. Correct hai ki nahi? They are saying that he has come to India for the purpose of visit. What has he come to India for? For they have said that he has visited. Because he is not doing any business, he is providing services. That's a little defect. If he comes for visit and the total has exceeded 15 lakhs, still you have to count 12365 days. But he is not fulfilling that criteria also. So final answer mein they are right only. Final answer mein they are right only. But they have added this criteria, which was not required. But theek hai. Is he a non-resident? Now that he is non-resident, tax can be attracted only if the income is Indian income. Let's see. He is getting paid 50 lakh rupees. For what purpose? To set up an automobile factory in Faridabad. Payer is Indian company. Resident is the payer. We are paying him technical services. And the services are being used for the purpose of, come on. Services are used where? In India. Therefore, the income is Indian income or foreign income. And therefore, the income will be taxable. Is that understood? Okay. चलिए. So, जैसा कि I told you कि ये 120 days का criteria they have given, which was not required, but ultimately it is income accrued in India, therefore it will be taxable in India. Okay. Question number 15, please. What are you doing? So question 15.
Question 15. Mr. X, an Indian citizen, resides in USA but comes to visit India during previous year 22-23 on 1st November and leaves India on 5th March 23. During his stay in India, he earned the following incomes. Dividend from US-based companies is 50,000. Interest from Government of Indian bonds, the proceeds of which were used for a project in Bhutan, 2 lakhs. Agricultural income from India, 2,000. And short-term capital gains on sale of shares of Indian company. The shares were sold in USA, 6 lakhs. Compute the total income assuming all payments were directly credited to his bank account in USA.
मतलब one thing is for sure that the income is received outside India. Yes. Had this been credited in Indian bank account, I would have just added and said taxable. Yes. Correct? Now that it is received outside India, so we will have to find out due to other factors if any income is becoming Indian income or no. But if he is non-resident, of that first question, you know, columnar mein 3 things we did. That was easy because residential status was given to you. And you just had to decide for each one of them. Here, you will have to guess karo first what do what? Residential status. For that they have given you number of days. Once you do that, फिर क्या होएगा? Accordingly we will be deciding. In any case, Indian income will still be taxable. So for you know your short-term capital gain on sale of shares of Indian company, bhale received outside India, sold outside India, where is the asset located? So it will be treated as deemed Indian income. Yes. But we don't know his status, we can't decide. Dividend from US company, for example, listen, if he is resident, so it will be included, but if he is non-resident, then it won't be included, no? We will have to first determine that. When did he come to India? 1st November. 30 days of November? Yes. December 31? Yes. Jan 31? Yes. Feb?
28.
March? 5. That's a total of 182 हुआ? नहीं. 60 हुआ, but he resides in USA. That means if nothing is given, that means he has come for the first time. If he would have come in the past, then they would have told you. They would have told you he left India for the first time, came for the first time. If they say he resides in USA, matlab he has come first time to visit. Correct? Hai? And now that he has come first time to visit, so last 4 years ka zero hai. That means he has become a non-resident. Now that he has become a non-resident, you can look at the individual incomes and decide. We have decided that therefore the assessee is, and based on this our criteria will be taken whether we should include or no. For example, dividend from US company, Indian income or foreign income? If this was resident, so we will include. But because it is non-resident, so how much we will take? 0. Next, interest from Government of India bonds, and government is using money in Bhutan. Resident hota to include, non-resident hai to it can happen only if it is Indian income. Indian income received to outside India. Is it Indian income or foreign income?
Indian income was approved in India and you can
project is in Bhutan. वो बराबर है. I agree to the fact that the funds were used in Bhutan.
Yes.
I agree with that. Indian income or foreign income?
Indian income.
अर्नड इन इंडिया कैसे?
Government of India.
तो अर्नड इन इंडिया नहीं है,
Approved in India.
डीम्ड टू बी इंडियन इनकम, क्योंकि इंटरेस्ट इनकम का पहला वाला पॉइंट वॉज एनी इंटरेस्ट, इनफैक्ट इन रॉयल्टी एंड इनफैक्ट इन एफटीएस ऑल्सो, ऑल थ्री इनकम. फर्स्ट पॉइंट वॉज, वो तो थ्री इनकम वी डिड टुडे का लेक्चर. फर्स्ट पॉइंट वॉज व्हाट? बाइंग फ्रॉम. Once payer is government, we don't check anything. It is going to be, and therefore, suno, if this was an Indian company ka bonds and it was used outside India, so we will not take it because it is government. We are taking it. समझा क्या? Third income. If I ask you Indian ke foreign, तो Indian, but I will still take zero despite being Indian income. And give yourself the benefit of doubt. Without doing exempt income, you can't answer this. Orally karna is not something that I can say I have done with you. Though orally I have told you that Indian agriculture income is exempt and foreign agriculture income is taxable, but in writing we will do in our exempt income chapter. So why are we taking zero here? Not because it is foreign income, but because even if it is Indian income, we are not going to tax it. Okay. And last, sale of shares of Indian company, sold also outside, received also outside, तो अभी, but still deemed to be Indian income. क्यों? कि the asset is located in, correct है? वही 8 लाख का आपका टोटल. It was a solved question, no? इसके लिए I did it like this, हाँ. तो जो भी unsolved है, या तो we left space in the textbook and solved over there, जैसे that big question, or we did in the notebook. Solved है इसलिए ऐसे. Presentation is there, no? You can see the presentation.
Sir, sir, in the solution about this agriculture income, what is given exempt? After that, what is exempt?
अंडर सेक्शन. अच्छा ये पूछ लो. आई थॉट यू आर आस्किंग सर एग्जेम्प्टेड का मतलब क्या होता है, तो आई वाज लाइक कि मैं कब से क्या बोल रहा हूं. अंडर सेक्शन मतलब विच प्रोविजन ऑफ द लॉ हैज मेड दिस इनकम एग्जेम्प्ट? सेक्शन 10(1). एंड एवरी लॉ, नॉट जस्ट इनकम टैक्स लॉ, एवरीवेयर this is a very much accepted short form. Under section 10(1) is agriculture income exempt? That is by 0. Question 16, honestly speaking, is on government employees sent abroad. Is salary still going to be treated as Indian income? Yes, but allowances and perquisites are treated as exempt? Yes. अब now he is staying outside India, तो London का house का income will not be taken. Okay, and interest from national saving certificate or government securities, तो वो इंडिया में इन्वेस्ट किया. So even if he is staying outside India, this will be taxable. This will be taxable. This has been specifically exempt and this is foreign income. मतलब first and last is taxable. तो सर आप सॉल्व क्यों नहीं करवाते हो? सर because I just casually told you that foreign allowances of government employees are exempt. I have not taught you exempt. Because when I do the chapter income from salary for you, in that chapter I will teach you that when we compute taxable income of any person under salary, after we take the total, we give the assessee something called a standard deduction of rupees 50,000. Sir, इसका मतलब क्या है? If your salary is 10 lakh, we will tax you on 950. If your salary is 1 crore, we will tax you on 99 lakh, 99,000 and 50,000. If your salary is 1 lakh, we will tax you on 50,000. If your salary is 5 lakh, we will tax you on 450. 50,000 salary will not be taxed. We call it a standard deduction. So when we take in the income 720, we will minus 50 and tax only 670. This is a deduction under section 16(1)(a). We get this deduction called standard deduction. You don't know this, no? I told you now, and therefore you know orally, roughly, casually, not legally and professionally in a chapter. So time आएगा तो किया जाएगा. This is not the right time to do question 16. Though you have understood that foreign का rent है, he is a non-resident, he stays outside India, no? It won't come. But this is government of India that is paying. So this will come. So that way 720 and 45 का total you will take. तब तक तो you are right also. But you don't know standard deduction. This is not the right time. After you learn salary का chapter, we can come and solve this. So you don't tick. तो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Even if I don't solve, no. When you will again sit and revise and you will see this sum was not solved. आफ्टर सैलरी का चैप्टर तो यू विल लाफ एट दिस. ओके, तो इग्नोर दिस फॉर द टाइम बिंग. आई थिंक 17 बाकी है, 18 इज डन. 19 क्या है, छोटा है, 19 करते हैं, देन 17 वी विल डू. 19 करो फिर.
Question 19. Daisy Limited, a foreign company incorporated in USA and engaged in the manufacturing and distribution of diamonds, set up a branch office in India in June 2019. The branch office was required to purchase uncut and unassorted diamonds from dealers of Mumbai and export them to USA. During the previous year 22-23, the profit from such export amounted to 75 lakhs. Out of 20 shareholders in Daisy Limited, 12 shareholders are non-resident in India. All major decisions were taken through board meetings held at USA. Determine the residential status of Daisy Limited for assessment year 23-24 and discuss the tax treatment of profit from export business.
Can I say that two-step का process that we follow in this chapter? First, assessee का status.
Yes, sir.
Second, nature of income, Indian or foreign.
Yes.
If assessee का answer is resident, without checking income, pay tax. If income is Indian, without checking assessee, pay tax. Correct है?
Yes.
But we will do both of them individually. तो पहले we will check. Assessee कौन है? Which is a foreign company. Had it been an Indian company? No, नहीं. Had it been an Indian company, तो always resident. But because it is foreign company, when can it become a resident? Place of effective management. Inter level पे क्या? Major decisions किधर दिया? Question is clearly saying where are the major managerial decisions taken? USA, and therefore the company is a non-resident. Once the company is non-resident, your decision making will get affected.
Yes.
We can tax the company on any income only if the income is Indian income. Actual income by way of accrual or receipt, or deemed to be Indian income. This company is in business and business ka profit is 75 lakhs. So it is selling goods in USA. Sale transaction is happening where? USA. So what is the Indian connection? I am asking, there is some Indian connection. Check करके बताओ. What are we doing? We are purchasing the uncut and unassorted diamonds from dealers of Mumbai, and then we are exporting in USA. So we are doing some activity in India.
Yes.
And thus you will have to decide and tell me. Why? अरे business setup in Mumbai बोला ना. But that business is confined to the activity of, and only purchase cannot invite or attract it as Indian income. Therefore this income remains foreign income, and assessee is non-resident and therefore not deemed to accrue or arise in India, and thus it will not be taxable. Is that understood? चलिए, तो I think एक तो 16 है. 16 is which question?
Salary.
Which you can do only after salary, but after salary you can do without me also. And now 17. 17 is similar to the big question on scope of total income that we did. Yes, नहीं तो अभी कर नहीं. करो. Question number 17.
Question number 17.
अच्छा, by the way, the faster you do this, the longer is your break between this lecture and the next lecture. And the slower you do this, the lower, the lesser is your break. You have a next lecture now. चलिए, अब you do it एकदम आराम से. तो I will meet sir and कोई चिंता नहीं. लेक्चर किसका है? वेरी गुड. तो कंटिन्यू आराम से करो, कोई टेंशन नहीं.
Compute the gross total income in the hands of an individual if he is a non-resident and ordinary resident, and a resident and
Non-resident can never be ordinary or not ordinary.
resident and ordinary resident and a non-resident.
मतलब all three columns are not asked. First and last. Even easy. First वाले में everything. Last वाले में only Indian income. In fact, middle वाले में we have to be confused कि foreign income है लेकिन controlled है. Even easy. Two columns. Similar? Okay. चलिए. One by one.
Interest from German derivative bonds, 1/4 received in India.
अभी ये क्या है ना? This is a solved question, but I don't want you to just read the solution because that defeats the purpose. Okay? हाँ, तो you don't read still because it is human tendency. Some are like कि पहले मैं answer read कर. नहीं. Then you're defeating the purpose. For you to do that extra practice, we have an additional question. These questions you focus in class. So question number 17 में we have to decide for two ROR and NOR. देखो, I am not solving this for presentation purposes. हाँ, I was checking if you're paying attention. I am not solving this for presentation purposes. तो मैं क्या करेगा? I will write A, not write the full particulars. In exam you have to write. In the suggested answer we have explained everything with particulars. But I'll just write the amount in the amount column. Okay, in that question we had space in the textbook itself. But here we need to write our amounts correctly. तो देखेंगे. Let's see. What do you have?
Interest from German derivatives, bonds, 1/3 received in India.
So let's divide this into 14 and 7. 7 is received in India. नहीं, तो taxable for both. Correct है? मतलब NR के कॉलम में 7 तो will come. But what about 14? German bonds. 14 is Indian income or foreign income? That means first column में 14 will come or no? First column में तो entire 21 will come. But second column में only because that was received in India. Very good. Second. ये तुम क्या कर रहे हो? You are waiting, मतलब you will write and then I will wait for you, ऐसा नहीं?
Income from agriculture, land situated in Malaysia, remitted to India.
Remitted, तो इंडिया हो गया ना? इंडिया नो, प्लेस ऑफ अर्निंग इज मलेशिया. इंडियन इनकम के फॉरेन इनकम. इफ कंट्रोल्ड फ्रॉम इंडिया होता तो RNOR के लिए इट इज रेलेवेंट. फॉर हियर इट इज नॉट रेलेवेंट. फॉरेन इनकम दोनों में 0-0. ROR के कॉलम में we still write 51, but NR के कॉलम में 0. Next.
Income earned from business in Dubai, controlled from India, 20,000 received in India.
So I will have to again bifurcate into 20 and 55. 20 is received in India. Is this Indian income? So it will come in which column? मतलब NR के कॉलम में भी आएगा. 55 is Indian income or foreign income? He control from India. नहीं, that is relevant only for RNOR, which is not asked. For NR, it is Indian or foreign? So 55 will not come. First column? First column is to, can I say very easy? Discussion is of second column. 20 will come, everyone agrees? 55? Because business is in Dubai. Control ka place is relevant only for RNOR. And accordingly, second column mein we will write only. Had there been RNOR का column, it would have been 75. बराबर है. Next.
Profit from business in Mumbai, controlled from Australia, 1,75,000.
Controlled from Australia, तो फिर इंडिया में 0-0.
From business in Mumbai.
हाँ? Business in and therefore which one? Once the place of business is Mumbai, दोनों में आएगा ना. Next.
Interest received from Mr. Ashok NRI on loan provided to him for business in India. 25,000.
Payer is non-resident. एक बात बताओ. If you have a brain, preserve it for the second column. If receiver is resident, 35 ही है ना? 35 ही तो है. Why are you making that face? 35. First column में we don't have to waste our time, no. We have discussion for the second column. The second column के अंदर we see Indian income or foreign income. Don't forget, the person who is paying this interest is a non-resident.
Yes.
So one non-resident paying to other non-resident.
Business is in India.
So this is used for,
Business in India.
and therefore
235.
it will be Indian income here also. Next.
Dividend from Brown Limited, an Indian company, 30,000.
अभी ब्राउन देख के तुमको ऐसा ना, ब्राउन मीन्स फॉरेनर का नेम है. डेविड ब्राउन नहीं. इन इंडिया यू कैन कॉल हिम भूरिया. ब्राउन इंडियन कंपनी नो.
Yes, sir.
तो फिर व्हाट इज योर आंसर? बोथ कॉलम्स 30.
Profit from business in Canada, controlled from Mumbai, 60% of profits deposited in a bank in Canada and 40% remitted to India. Amount is 60,000.
देखो, इफ ऐसा बोला होता ना 60% रिसीव्ड इन कनाडा एंड 40% रिसीव्ड इन इंडिया, तो इट वुड हैव अफेक्टेड, वी वुड हैव ब्रोकन 60,000 into 60. You understand?
60,000 will receive.
This is only the end usage given. Usage of income is not relevant to decide taxability. Received where? Canada. Business where? Canada. control from India is affecting only our NOR, which is not asked in the question. If you ask sir our NOR hota, so we would have taken it. But here to it is not our NOR. Can I say both columns 0, 0?
No, sir.
कुछ भी क्या पागल है क्या हम लोग? This तो you don't use your brain, no? Correct? ये controlled from India है तो why we are writing 0 in the outer column? मतलब in the NR column? Because for NR control is not relevant.
Yes.
That is relevant only for R NOR. चलिए next.
The amount received, if we consider take R and R, so only 40% amount we will.
Remittance is irrelevant. Income किधर है? Full income Canada. But because business is controlled from Mumbai, had it been R NOR, come on everyone tell me. तो R NOR के कॉलम में how much amount we would have written? Full 60,000. वो R NOR को मिस कर रहा है क्या? नहीं. You do one thing as a homework only for you. This same sum solve for R NOR column also. I will give you private tuition to check that answer of yours. Okay.
Amount received from an NRI for the use of know-how for his business in Singapore, 8 lakhs.
Know-how मतलब it is also an intangible asset. Amount बोला है, it can be treated as royalty or FTAs. 8 lakh. One non-resident is, no, payer is non-resident. So that means the income can be Indian income only if the services are used in India. But here the services are used in Indian income or foreign income? Foreign income. That means can I say 0, 0 in both? No. First column, second column. Next.
Dividend received from foreign company in India.
Company foreign है, payment India में.
Indian.
Indian income. If received in India, then we are not interested in that deem Indian and all that also. So which column may we will write 25? Both columns we will write 25,000. Very good. And the last income?
Past years untaxed foreign income brought to India 50,000.
Both nil. This is the only place where ROR ka we will take nil because we are only remitting income of past year. We are not actually earning anything. हाँ. कोई तो नील लिखने में इसलिए एक्साइटेड है क्योंकि खुद का नाम नील है. तो राइट नहीं, टेक द टोटल. डोंट पैक योर बैग्स. टेक द टोटल. व्हाट यू गेट एज टोटल? ये मेंटल मैथ्स मारेगा अभी मारेगा. इन योर एग्जाम इफ 3 plus 5 is 8 or 9, no, you will check once on your calculator.
12 lakh 72 from 12 lakh.
And is there a printing mistake in the answer? We'll check that. Second column. 92.
92,000.
So what is the mismatch? Check करते जाओ. You all are anybody who has written the answers?
Yes.
साथ में check करो. 21 and 7 is matching.
Yes.
51 and 0. 51 था क्या? 51 and 0. 75 and 20. 175, 175. 35, 35. 30, 30. 60, 0. 8 lakh 0. 25, 25. 0, 0. Then why is your total and our total not matching? Is this total wrong? These totals are wrong. 100%?
Yes, sir.
Verify once again.
Yes, sir. This is wrong.
मैं कर पक्का रॉन्ग है. मैं टाइम वेस्ट नहीं करता. तो वेरी क्या करेक्ट दिस टोटल. इसका टोटल का आंसर क्या? 1292 बोला तुम लोग या 1272 बोला इधर. हाँ एंड ईयर 292. हाँ ओके डन एवरीवन. Well then, congratulations. That was your chapter, residential status and scope of total income. Thank you very much.